All it takes is a Saturday night in New York City to bring out the stars. When the lights are brightest, it's time for Drew Brees and the boys to shine. Who Dat Nation in the city that never sleeps, ready to light up the night. It's preseason game number 3 as the Big Easy hits the Big Apple.
Tonight, just across the Hudson River from magnificent East Rutherford, New Jersey. And MetLife Stadium, the Saints' preseason road journey continues as they take on the New York Jets. Hi, everybody. I'm Joel Myers alongside Super Bowl winner John Stinchcomb, and welcome to East Rutherford, New Jersey. As we get ready for preseason game number 3, the Saints have split their first two, employing both Teddy Bridgewater and Taysom Hill, and what a comeback it was in the second half last week in Southern California. So we're going to see those two once again, Stinch, but for the first time of the preseason, we get to see the future Hall of Famer, number 9, Drew Brees.
Well, in the Sean Payton era, there have been a number of offensive weapons, but the one consistent player that this offense runs through is number 9, Drew Brees. For the first time, we get to see him in preseason, and we get to see the chemistry and the identity of this offense. You have Alvin Kamara and Michael Thomas returning, and you add to it Latavius Murray and Jared Cook, which might be new weapons for Drew Brees to find when this offense gets out on the field.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun to see the first team offense out there. And as Drew Brees said earlier this week, he'd like to see more than one series, but we'll see how it goes in that very first series offensively. Now, last week, the New York Jets beat the Atlanta Falcons. We always thank any team that can beat the Atlanta Falcons, of course. But at the same time, they came up with 5 sacks and 14 hits on the quarterback. So a defensive coordinator we're familiar with, Greg Williams. How do you game plan for that in the preseason?
Well, you have to be aware of who you're going up against, and Greg Williams is a familiar name for the Saints Nation. He was the defensive coordinator when we won our Super Bowl, but he also lived with a little bit of a tarnished reputation. One thing's for certain, he knows defense and how to coordinate it. In preseason, he's not afraid from releasing the hounds. I think that's something that this offense has to be prepared for. It's going to be a great test for this offensive line, for receivers to adjust their routes against a pressuring front that's not afraid to bring a blitz or pressure package in preseason games.
Preseason game number 3, and the first time we get to see Drew Brees in the first team offense. Stay with us. The Saints and the Jets are up next.
Welcome back once again to New Jersey. It's time for our sideline report, all brought to you by Visit Baton Rouge, an authentic Louisiana experience. We head downstairs and check in with Megan Payton.
Preseason week 3, I'm here with head coach Sean Payton. How much are we going to see of the starters tonight?
This is the game typically we'll play them into the second quarter. There'll be a few players maybe that we'll have on an earlier pitch count, but Drew will play some tonight. Most everyone, will start the game, and probably most of them into the second quarter.
Now, some teams don't play their starters at all during the preseason. Why do you think it's beneficial?
Well, look, I think that's changed. I think there's always that balance of injury and yet execution. Back when we first started in 06, 07, we'd go into the third quarter on this game. So I think a lot of it has to do with how many reps they're getting at practice. Certain players maybe have missed some time. We'll try to get those guys more snaps, but you do kind of try to find that right balance. But I think they're excited to play.
1 week away from final cuts, which position still has the most competition?
That's a good question. I think we've got 2 or 3 position groups. Our safety position has got a lot of depth. Our defensive line position, particularly, there's going to be some challenging decisions there, and you're always hoping for that because that competition generally brings out the best in those players. So hopefully it can become a little clearer after tonight's game.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I like that terminology. Keep up with pitch count.
That's it. And you're excited to see Drew Brees and the rest of the players that we haven't seen up to this point in the preseason, but you also have to weigh the amount of risk for potential for injury and those type things for guys that you're going to be counting on in a week and a half.
It is late August, and we have early October weather. How beautiful is this? It's incredible. So we're fortunate because a couple of days ago it was 90 and 90 here in New York. As we get ready for the opening kick, Bertolette is a guy that is trying to claim a job, and they don't have anybody else in camp right now. As Deontay Harris is going to be back, and how impressive has he been to start the preseason for the Saints? He'll get it and bring it out from the goal line. So Harris averaging 25, 28 per kick. Takes it right out to the 28-yard line. He's averaging 9 on punt returns. And now the Hall of Famer. So it was up to Drew Brees. As a former teammate of his, he'd like to play game one, wouldn't he?
Oh, he's competitive as anybody I've ever been around, and he wants to compete. He wants to be out there. He doesn't like seeing the rest of the Saints taking the field and him not being at the helm. I think he understands why, but he's a competitor. He wants to be out there.
Yeah, and earlier in the week he did say, I understand why they're doing it, and I want to be in there for more than one series, because somebody said if it's 9 or 12 plays, he goes, no, I want to be out there for a couple of series, at least a couple of series. Open it up with Kamara in the backfield on the dump off. Blocking downfield, yes, and across the 30 out to the 32. So you got the block from Ted Ginn Jr. and a little lane on the outside as they held up the defensive backs. Offensively for the Saints, who won the toss, and will have a second and about a half dozen coming up. Let's keep Teron Armstead healthy at left tackle. One of the best offensive lines in the NFL. And there you see the first unit with Drew Brees. Zach Lyon in the eye, Alvin Kamara the tailback. And on his first carry of the game, he is engulfed at about the 31, maybe a yard at the most. It was Leonard Williams, the left end in his 5th year out of USC, a former first-round pick in 2015, in on the hit. So an early third down for the Saints, and they're not exactly clicking like they'd like to on third downs in the preseason.
Well, now you have Drew Brees at the helm. Let's see if that changes. That usually is a nice recipe for success on third down.
So 3rd and a half dozen. First series of the game, and good to have you with us. Pressure's coming. Wide open is Kamara. He's got a first down and popped out of bounds. Barely. Inside the 45 down to the 43. Try to put single coverage on him in the flat.
Well, we talked about it in the pregame. Greg Williams is not afraid to dial up a blitz. He's going to bring that Mike linebacker right through the A-gap. You have Drew Brees, who's able to step out of the pocket 2 steps and find Alvin Kamara one-on-one with a linebacker. A recipe for disaster for any defense, and something that Drew is quick to pick up on.
And now a tight formation on a play fake. Kamara, and what a play. Was batted down to the line of scrimmage by Henry Anderson, the right end out of Stanford. In his 5th season, a former 3rd rounder in 2015 the Colts. Otherwise, Kamara's rolling.
Watch how Brees finishes this play. He's trying to sneak it past the defensive end. He's ticked, buddy. He wanted to get the ball to, how many plays have we ran so far that haven't been directed towards Kamara? 0. Every play has been featuring Alvin Kamara, and Drew is looking for another one right there.
Last year, Alvin Kamara, to your point, was 6th or 7th in the NFL. 62% of the time he was involved in the play. Out of the running backs, Brees, ton of time, and what a grab. Mike Thomas, it threaded through the needle because it looked like it was up for grabs. Brian Poole thought he had it, the defensive back out of Florida, and Mosley, the inside backer.
Well, you're right, and Drew just finds that little crease behind the cornerback who's sagging in coverage. And if that ball isn't perfectly placed and you don't have a competitor at wide receiver like Michael Thomas, that could go a different direction. But there's a trust factor involved where Drew knows that Michael's ready to go up and grab it if need be.
Brees with a check at the line. 2 on the wide side of the field. Kamara going to the same side. He's got a good lane over to the right side. But the Packers on his back. And it was Neville Hewitt who brought him down in his 5th season out of Marshall. So I brought up 7th most among running backs at 62%. Stinch, give us an idea, because Ingram's gone now.
Right.
It's Latavius Murray. Is he going to be more like 70% of the time out there?
I think you're going to see an increased volume from Alvin Kamara, and I think he's capable of carrying that load. I also think that they're probably going to limit his exposure later in this game, so they want to get what they can out of him early.
Off the fingertips. And it was the tight end, Garrett Griffin, who was turning around, trying to get to it around Hewitt, the inside backer. This drive started back at the 28, and almost a great catch by the tight end Griffin.
Well, so far you've seen from tight ends, Josh Hill and Garrett Griffin have taken the field. I haven't seen Jared Cook. This is very easily a route that you'd probably see from Jared Cook week 1, but an opportunity for Garrett to make a play, and Griffin wasn't able to come down with the ball.
So now it's going to be 3rd and 7. Started back at the Saints 28. 3 wide receivers set. And on a single into the corner, jump ball, Mike Thomas. Should be. Is it? Yes. Touchdown Saints. Had to wait for the official on the sideline. Mike Thomas saw it all the way, didn't he?
Well, we know this connection well. Drew Brees to Michael Thomas in the corner of the end zone. Michael Thomas is able to go up and get it behind the back of the cornerback who's running step in step. He's just a competitor. He's able to track the ball. He doesn't put his hands up early, and Drew puts it right over the helmet of that defensive back. Michael Thomas holds on to it through the fall. No question there. That's a catch and a touchdown from the combination that the Saints fans love. And, you know, there's a reason why they just spent $20 million a year on Michael Thomas. It's for him to make plays just like that.
Needed to keep him. There's no question about that. So he's locked up for a long time to come as Lutz gets into it. And a perfect beginning for Drew Brees for the preseason. An 8-play, 72-yard drive and a 19-yard score to can't guard Mike Thomas. Early 7-point lead for the Saints on the opening possession. Saints touchdown sponsored by Ochsner Health System, innovating healthcare. Another look at it, Stinch.
Well, it's a connection. Once again, Drew Brees puts it only where his receiver can make a play on the ball, and Michael Thomas in familiar territory. Goes up, grabs the ball, comes down with a touchdown.
As I mentioned to you, that pass to Garrett Griffin while we were discussing wingspan, and we use that terminology a lot in basketball, but it applies to receivers as well. We saw Garrett Griffin, he's 6'4", Jared Cook 6'5", but the wingspan is not your height.
Well, exactly, and for different receivers, they have various catch radiuses, right, where you can see a guy who may not be 6'5", but still is able to come away with the ball. But, you know, height's definitely a factor there.
Lutz with a high one and a short one. Trenton Cannon will take it right at the goal line. Coverage real good by the Saints, and a hit inside the 15, and a big-time hit on special teams by a guy that's the 3rd running back, but he's got to contribute on specials, Dwayne Washington.
Yes, he's a guy that's trying to make this team, and one way to do that is make tackles on special teams. Now, the fans here in the stands were a little upset because they thought that tackle was coming up a little higher around the neck area, but after watching it again, he was on the shoulder pads. I think that's a good no call. Although the fans here don't agree with me.
And there are a lot of Saints fans here, by the way. I mean, it may be 50-50. Or maybe the Saints have an edge when it comes to fans in the building tonight. Out of the gun, Sam Darnold, after a real good rookie campaign, almost picked off. There for the Saints, Von Bell, the strong safety. There is a flag down in the play as the receiver went down. What a camp it's been and a preseason for Von Bell.
Well, Von Bell was a player who really...
Pass interference, defense number 24. Ball be placed at the spot of the foul. Automatic, first down.
All right, does he hook him?
We'll see. He's coming in out of the right side of your screen there. Left side. There we go. He's going to be coming from over here. Let's see where he gets him. He sees what the play. Oh, yeah, they get their feet tangled up. That happens from time to time, but I tell you what, from last week's game, he was definitely somebody who popped to me. He was making a lot of plays across the field.
Ty Montgomery on the carry across the 25. Out fumble, picked up by the Saints. It's free. It's Lattimore. He's inside the 15. Keep going, and he's knocked out of bounds. A 1st and goal for the Saints. Opportunistic, early. So Montgomery had yardage, the former 3rd-round pick of the Packers in 2015, trying to make this squad in his 5th year out of Stanford.
Well, you see Marshawn Lattimore. He's just ready to make a play. He was Ty Montgomery was surrounded by Saints, and Marshawn is not trying to take him to the ground. He's tackling the football. It's almost as if Montgomery was trying to go to the ground before Lattimore pulls it from his grip. But
he has the knee down as he tries to rip it out. Yeah, ball's gone. Ball's gone.
I mean, it's playmakers, right? Marshawn Lattimore is not trying to get the tackle. He's stealing the ball from Montgomery, knowing that he's surrounded by teammates. You know, watching it one time, yep, he's already lost the ball. Marshawn's got it. Now the question is, will that contact by Montgomery there consider Marshawn down, and they'll spot the ball a little further back? But you know, this is the first chance really that we're seeing this defense intact. You got Cam Jordan who's playing. He's at that left defensive end position, and you have your full squad out there. It's quite the first two series for the offense as well as the defense. You go down, you march down, you find Michael Thomas in the corner of the end zone for a touchdown. Your defense comes right back, and in the first series creates a turnover from what looked like a very pedestrian play, and Marshawn Lattimore finds a way to create another opportunity for this offense to take the field.
So they're looking at it as well, reviewing it to see.
Is under further review.
Was the knee down? Was it simultaneous? We'll find out when we come back. And when we come back, if the Saints do get it, first and goal to the 9, it'll be Teddy Bridgewater at quarterback. Saints lead early, 7-0 over the Jets. Big time play by Marshawn Lattimore. Boy, the Ohio State guys coming through, like Von Bell, Mike Thomas. So Lattimore is down by contact. They roll. It's not going to be a first and goal, but the Saints will have the football at the 31. And not a bad beginning to the preseason for Drew Brees, and he's through for most likely the entire preseason. It'll be Dwayne Washington on the screen play inside the 25 and popped out of bounds at about the 18. And Brian Poole on the far side with the stop. So Teddy Bridgewater, a tale of two games. First game, 11 of 15, very, very strong. Last week wasn't himself and was sick, as we found out, had a bug and still wanted to play. So now Teddy Bridgewater gets the call, and it's going to be interesting to see because he and, let's face it, Taysom Hill are opposites.
Well, their game is very different, but he didn't get a lot of help either. There's a couple balls where he threw it doink right off the face mask of his receiver. So, you know, you want to get him in rhythm. You come in this game, you find you start off with a little screen pass, get your lineman out in front of Dwayne Washington, who, you know, you watch that run and he was able to set it up. I think that's what you need to see from Dwayne is his ability to catch the ball and progress, get that yak yardage. And for Teddy, this is a great opportunity for him to show who he really is, and that last week was a little bit more of an anomaly than a regular occurrence for him.
Keith Kirkwood, bottom of your screen on the wide side, inside handoff and a first down. It's Zach Line, the fullback. Just a quick hitter between the center and the guard, and a first and goal for the Saints. Well, if anything, when we look at what Teddy Bridgewater has done over the first couple of weeks, and it's interesting, it was a screenplay. They got the ball out of his hands in a hurry. He didn't have to go through progressions because people have said maybe he's holding on to it a little bit too long.
Well, that's the assessment. Is sometimes with Bridgewater, is he looking for the perfect play and not taking those shots where you have to have confidence in your arm, and it extends a play to the point where bad things can happen more than good. So good to start off with a couple of easy throws for him.
Out of the gun, going into the corner, and just wide of Keith Kirkwood with a flag down, and it may be offensive interference on Kirkwood. It may have been a push-off by Kirkwood.
Pass interference, offense number 18. 10-yard penalty, first down.
Well, Bridgewater recognizes you're in man coverage, and Kirkwood's playing one-on-one there. And let me tell you, if you call that in the NFL, it's going to be a lot of yellow flags on the field, because that's almost every time on those quick cutting out routes for these wide receivers. You trying to create a little space, you better believe it.
It's going to be a long night if we see flags on plays like that.
No question.
Now on first and goal. Another dump off, and it falls incomplete with a flag down.
Another attempted screen over to the opposite side.
Well, this might be against, well, no, it's another offensive holding call.
Holding. Offense. Number 75. 10-yard penalty. First down.
The left guard, Andres Pete. He is cited for the infraction.
Well, the left guard right here. They're trying to create another screen pass to one of these running backs, and well, you know, that's a little bit high with his hands. I think there's some things we could probably clean up.
A little high? An arm drag and a toss, I think they call it in WWE. Now, 3 penalties, 30 yards, and Markov's underneath. It falls incomplete. And fortunately for the Saints, he popped it backwards.
Let me tell you, this is a concern for the Saints, and it's because you took Teron Armstead out of the game. He is an elite left tackle, and so this is Michael Ola at the left tackle spot going up against Jordan Jenkins, the starting defensive end for the Jets. A quick inside hand sweep, and Bridgewater's lucky to get rid of the ball. I mean, Jordan Jenkins is beelining to the quarterback, and you know his history will tell you Teron Armstead has struggled to stay on the field. When he's on the field, he's elite, but that third tackle position is something of note here for this offense.
Good adjustment by Ozigbo. He got it down to the 21. Ozigbo's trying to make the squad as the third back. Dwayne Washington has done a very good job of the preseason. So Ozigbo, who's a rookie, undrafted, out of Nebraska at 6', even 225. And I said to you during warm-ups, he looks the part, doesn't he?
He does. I like the way he runs. I think in the first 2 preseason games, given the opportunities, he's tried to maximize them. I think there was the one play obvious that sticks out where he fumbled the ball, but has shown up in more highlights than lowlights.
It's 3rd and goal to the 21 for the Saints in a 3 wide receivers set. Ozigbo stays with the backfield. Bridgewater too tall and through the hands of Ted Ginn Jr. and maybe not too tall. That was a bullet.
Well, yeah, he threw some heat on that bad boy, and again it's an ET game from the defensive line. It comes underneath Ola, so it made Bridgewater step out. But this is Ted Ginn Jr., one of those veteran wide receivers who can stretch the field, but you can see the pressure. That's Leonard Williams coming around on that end tackle stunt to get a shot on Bridgewater coming from that left side.
Will Lutz perfect in the preseason, 6 for 6. It's going to be a 39-yard attempt out of the hold of Thomas Morstead on its way. And I wish I could draw it like that off the first tee. He spoils us.
He's just money, isn't he?
He spoils us.
Mr. Consistency.
So points off the takeaway by Lattimore. A 39-yarder from Will Lutz and a 10-point lead for the Saints. Tonight's Saints game is brought to you in part by Raising Cane's, official chicken of your New Orleans Saints, feeding your game day party for over 20 years. By Visit Baton Rouge, an authentic Louisiana experience. And by Ochsner Health System, innovating healthcare. The main terminal at Grand Central Station. So many things to really enjoy and like about New York, Manhattan. Except the congestion. The traffic. Away. What a start for Sean Payton of the Saints. Great drive by Drew Brees. The 8-play, 72-yard drive to start things off as Lutz then gets the 39-yard field goal. So perfect beginning. They can't capitalize to get 6 as opposed to settle for 3, and that's an area of concentration as well. Capitalizing once you get across the 50-yard line, and that was on a takeaway. But a lot of things to like early in this game as the Jets are about to get it back. Trenton Cannon waits back at the goal line. And a little bit of a deeper kick. As we said, we are very fortunate Will Lutz has been that good because the Jets are the other extreme. They had Taylor Bernalette last week mix 2 extra points against the Atlanta Falcons in a win for the Jets. And now Sam Darnold back for his second series. The 3rd pick in last year's draft out of USC at 6'3", 220. 22-year-old from Capistrano Beach, California. And he looks as well. He's got a major league arm. And is the offensive line going to hold up for him?
Well, I think that's a question for a number of those quarterbacks from his draft class, that it's hard to get a gauge as to their skills just because of the offensive lines they play behind.
Well, they slide over Anunya into the slot. It's Montgomery in the backfield. Had a flag deep out of the secondary as the Saints cover it well, but the Saints were one of the best against the run last year. Eli Apple and Von Bell on the run support out of the secondary. Scott Novak, our referee.
Holding, offense, number 78, 10-yard penalty, first down.
Defensively for the Saints, Davenport and Cam Jordan on the ends. Now, this is subject to change because there's already been a series out there for the Jets. Now, the linebackers, and Demario Davis back to where it all started for him as a former draft choice of the Jets back in 2012, a third-round pick, and a couple of tours of duty here. And we know how good it was for the Saints with Demario last year. So the mark-off makes it first from the point of the infraction at about 16-17. Good pocket protection that time, but Darnold gets rid of it. Good coverage as well, and it was Demario Davis on the coverage. Onyemata starting to get into the face of the quarterback.
Well, Onyemata is another guy. As we mentioned, Von Bell during the last series. Onyemata was very disruptive in California last week against the Chargers, and I think that's an area of strength. That interior defensive line, even without Sheldon Rankins, has been upgraded.
Now pressure, dump off for Ty Montgomery. Decent yardage over to the far side as he's forced out of bounds past the 25. Still need about 9 for the first down. Von Bell with good pursuit. And A.J. Klein, the strong side backer, a strong suit for the team, though, last year. Davis, Anzalone, and A.J. Klein.
Well, between the three, I think they found rhythm, and it looks like the Jets are trying to find some upbeat rhythm with their speed of play. No huddle right now.
The go from the 26, caught it 3rd and 9. And a little stunt up front. Davenport couldn't get him. Now it's up for grabs, but thrown away by Darnold. Nobody in the neighborhood, and the Saints will get a ride back. You like that little stunt and loop?
You do, just because of the athleticism of Davenport and his ability to get around. Now, you want to finish well. He's coming from the right side of your screen. It's similar to a blitz that we saw against. It looks like it might be intentional grounding here with the late flag.
Well, there was nobody in the area in a green jersey. It's good pressure on the cornerback.
Intentional grounding on the offense, number 14. 10-yard penalty, excuse me, to be a spot foul, loss of down.
And a good call. And he wasn't outside of the tackle box.
No, that's the correct call. I think they had time to adjust and realize he's still in the pocket and didn't have a receiver within 20 yards of where the ball landed. But you want to see more from Davenport just because he's such an athlete, and you're trying to create space for him to utilize his skills, and they did so with a wrapping blitz. The only thing is you want to see him finish once he's able to get to the quarterback to bring him all the way down.
So Edwards is going to punt it away from near his own goal line. And Deontay Harris, who's trying to make this squad. Every time he gets a chance to touch it, it's big. And he's waiting back at about the 40-45 now. He'll take it on the run. Makes the first miss. Good job to get to the outside, and unfortunately another flag down. Usually it's on the return team, as he took it back for about a 6 or 7 yard return. Blake Cashman in on the coverage. A lot of flags early.
There's a lot of laundry on the field.
During the return, legal block in the back, receiving team number 91, 10-yard penalty, first down.
And it's been rare when there's been a mistake by Trey Hendrickson. It's been that good a preseason for him.
And they've taught a new technique. You'll probably see it more throughout the league to avoid these blocks in the back, but he's trying to do an arm by. You try to do the airplane and box the guy out by just getting your body in front. Now that flag came from about 45 yards away from the back ref.
It's Washington with penetration in the backfield. Brian Poole, the defensive back. So we mentioned how they press the issue and how many guys they're going to put in the box with a Greg Williams kind of defense.
And it's a great opportunity with somebody down right here. Looks like it's Garrett Griffin's still down, but it's a great opportunity for your unit to work against pressure. With Greg Williams, he's pretty creative and can come with a number of different looks, pressure packages against the run and the pass. And it seems like here's another play where he's bringing some pressure, and the Saints weren't quite ready to adjust to it. And there's Garrett Griffin coming right at you.
From behind, unfortunately. Yep. They tend to Garrett Griffin, who will come back to New Jersey. Go back once again. Hate to see this for Garrett Griffin, because your first two tight ends are Jared Cook and Josh Hill, and then the battle for the third spot.
And Garrett's definitely in the running here. You hope it's something minor as he walks under the tent. You just hate to see that.
It'll be 2nd and 11 after the injury timeout. It'll be Washington bouncing out, breaking an ankle tackle, and good yardage. An adjustment by Dwayne Washington. Forced out by the free safety, Marcus May.
Well, Washington's got juice, and what helps is the left tackle, Michael Ola, right here, is able to seal the edge, gets the defense to commit upfield, and then finds his way to the second level, takes two, and lends itself for Dwayne Washington to find the edge and create a much more manageable third down situation.
Well, let's see what the Saints can do on a 3rd and 4. Can they keep the drive alive? Trips to the wide side of the field as Bridgewater works out of the gun. He's got time in a single. Traquan Smith had it punched away at the last second. Defended by Brian Poole, 4th-year D-back out of Florida. The last 3 years, you saw him with the Atlanta Falcons.
Well, you had single high safety. You got one-on-one right here with just over-the-top help, and Bridgewater gets pressure with a Mike linebacker up the middle, tries to put it in the same position what we saw from Drew to Michael Thomas earlier, and they just weren't able to connect.
First punt of the game for the Saints, and Thomas Morstead, who led the league last year in net punting average at 43+. Greg Dortch is back deep at about the 11 for New York. Good hang time by Thomas. Fair catch called for, and taken in cleanly at about the 18. So the Jets will get it for the 3rd time. Last year, and we'll give you their defensive ranks over the last 4 years. Last year, defensively, 25th overall for the New York Jets. The Saints, though, as you can see, the disparity overall, they were right in the middle of the pack at 14.
And you look at the best Saints teams throughout Coach Payton's history, and the defense is always your barometer. And you look at Dennis Allen and what he was able to do these past couple of years, and the way that he's gone from one of the worst defenses and added the pieces, including Eli Apple halfway through the season last year, to get the Saints in that upper half of ranked defenses.
Pressure, and Montgomery settled in between the backers and gets their first down of the game. So he wears 88, sets up in the backfield, because they also look at him as a wide receiver.
That's what he's done throughout his career, is his ability to catch the ball, whether it's from the backfield or out as a wide receiver. But I think it's got more to do with time. Malcolm Brown's coming in. Onyemata closes the pocket late, but that's a long time for a linebacker to play one-on-one with a receiver, or a running back with the receiver skills like Ty Montgomery, as you see with Demario Davis one-on-one with Tyron.
And that was the only place to go. The heat was coming once again, so early pressure on the quarterback, even though they're going hurry up once again. It'll be 2nd and still close to 10. Demario Davis, exceptional coverage. It's Montgomery, and not much.
Well, this is what Demario Davis brings to the table, is his ability not only to get after the passer, he covers tight ends and running backs out of the backfield, but on this play, he starts off on the left side of the defense. He scrapes and fills the hole and stops a carry for a gain of 1. He's a universal linebacker that can do all things, all the skills.
Now they bunch over to the right side. Darnold, too much time, and available with a flag down. Grab made by Robbie Anderson. 4th-year wide receiver out of Temple. Marcus Williams on the coverage. What is the flag all about, though?
A strike from Darnold.
Prior to the pass, holding, defense, number 43. Penalties declined. First down.
So back-to-back first downs and the most effective drive so far for Sam Darnold and the Jets. 19 yards on that completion. They'll go from the Saints 47 the first time they're in Saints territory. And it comes with inside of 5 to play in the first 15. Darnold on the deep drop, the play fake. Man, the dump off, and it's going to be a hook by the linebacker. It was well timed by A.J. Klein, but I think he got him around the hip, didn't he?
Well, I think the flags are coming in the backfield, possibly in the holding, offensive line holding area, but we're definitely, these umpires and refs are getting their money's worth tonight.
Yeah, it looked like it could have been maybe offsetting.
There are fouls against both teams on the play. Holding, offense, number 68. Personal foul, roughing the passer, and the defense, number 56. Penalties offset. First down.
Yeah, it was Beecham, the left tackle, who was called for the hold.
Well, we talked early before the game about Greg Williams bringing pressure, and here the Saints are bringing pressure, and that is roughing the passer.
Really?
In the NFL these days. Yeah, he touched him too hard.
It'll be first down all over again on the offsetting call. Montgomery going nowhere. A.J. Klein with penetration, or make that Powell in for the first time. The first touch for Bilal Powell, an 8th-year running back out of Louisville. Former 4th-round pick of the Jets back in 2011. And in fact, he may have lost a yard on the play. Good penetration up front by the Saints.
And it's the rotating defensive line interior. That's Sylvester Williams in. They just took Malcolm Brown out. Onyemata still on the field. But that's a competition that Coach Payton alluded to at the defensive tackle spot.
2 on each side. No tight end in the formation for Darnold. But the pocket holds up well, and he's going for the bundle. Deep ball. And it falls incomplete as he was looking downfield for Quincy Anunya. The 5th-year wideout, 6th-round pick in 2015 out of Nebraska. Williams and Apple combining on the coverage.
Yep, and it's Apple knows where his help is. That's Marcus Williams reading the play, tries to get back in on it. Anunya might have had him by a step, but ball's out there a couple yards out from his reach. But Eli Apple's running step for step with him, knowing that he's got inside help. That center third is played by Marcus Williams in that coverage.
So now can they get the ball back on 3rd and 11, close to 12. Montgomery, absolutely nothing. Ball came out late, but he's already down. And again, the team that was second best against the run last year loaded it up and took care of it, and they weren't deceived by the inside handoff.
No, they brought pressure again, and the Jets didn't have an answer for it.
Pretty good series for A.J. Klein.
And Demario Davis as well. He's in position. Obviously, he had the roughing the passer penalty, which is, I guess, debatable.
Roughing?
Yeah, he was
in flag football, maybe. So the punt coming from Lachlan Edwards. Young man out of Sam Houston State, Deontay Harris, waiting back for the Saints at the 10. Fair catch called for. And he's got it back at the 12. You joined us a little bit late. You missed the appearance of Drew Brees, and a very successful one.
It was borderline flawless. He was able to recognize the pressure, find Kamara out of the backfield. A couple balls to Michael Thomas, including this one, which Michael Thomas just does what Michael Thomas does, and that's make plays, make defenses look silly, create touchdown opportunities. I mean, they're a special combo, one of the best in the NFL, and they seem to be right on the same page as you look into this season. One series, and it ends with a touchdown. Doesn't get much better than that, Joel.
No, and it's like I said to you, for Drew Brees at this level, it's almost like for him it's getting back on a bike. No big deal.
It was nothing to it. It's a position he's been in 1,000 times before.
From the 12, Bridgewater in there. Saints 2 for 2 on their offensive series with points, as one came off a takeaway and a short field. A couple of yards for Dwayne Washington. He's dropped by Jordan Jenkins, the outside backer in his 4th year from Georgia. So Teddy Bridgewater, a 1-for-4 start. But as you mentioned, we saw a couple of misses by the offensive line. There was some early heat.
There's pressure in his face. There was the ball that was catchable, probably a little high for Ted Ginn Jr. But again, it's a couple quarterback hits on those incompletions that affect that stat line.
It'll be Washington on the cutback with a flag down on the play. Normally where you see an offensive hold. Harvey Lange on the stop. A lot of flags. Get comfortable.
Holding. Offense. Number 85. Half the distance to the goal. Second down.
Call it on Dan Arnold. There's a guy with a serious wingspan at 6'6", 220.
and someone that's trying to play that hybrid role of receiver,
right,
tight end, slot. Can they line him up at the edge of the offense? But I don't know what the ratio right now is of plays run to plays where there's been a penalty called, but it's nowhere close to where anyone associated with this game would like it to be.
Saints already got 5. 5 mark-offs. It'll go back to the 7, where it's going to be second and long. Bridgewater tripping over his own blocker on the comeback route. Good grab, good take, past the 15. Keith Kirkwood trying to secure a spot on the team. He's not been healthy in camp, but we saw signs in the second half of last season that you liked.
Yeah, he showed right there. He's got a little yak yardage in him, but watch Bridgewater here. He's trips on the running backs, able to recover, find Kirkwood, and Kirkwood does the rest. Finds the space, tries to get that yards after a catch, and get in a much more manageable third down situation.
So 3rd and 4. Ozigbo, the single to the backfield. They show blitz. Bridgewater over the middle, wide open, and a good grab and a good adjustment by Austin Carr because it was slightly behind him. They were bringing the pressure and the heat on the far side, weren't they?
And Bridgewater recognized it and bought time by scooting back. You got bunch formations on both sides, and that's tough on a defense if you give them any time. They're expecting the pressure to affect the throw to come out early, but you see Bridgewater bought time by scooting back and buying that real estate, which gave Carr the time to clear up on the crossing route.
So first down. Drive is alive at the 24. Deep drop by Bridgewater. Heat and a low throw. And is that a grab? Yes, A.J. Derby. Man, talk about a scoop.
That was a great catch and great job by Bridgewater working himself up into the pocket. He felt that the pocket was collapsing, kept his eyes downfield, and if A.J. Derby comes up with that ball,
there'll be a challenge.
Not sure that he did.
Yeah,
but
no, now they're saying it is not a catch.
They'll have time to, maybe they won't.
No, the Saints are trying to get the snap off before the end of the quarter, and I don't blame them. And that is going to be the end of the quarter.
I think there's a red flag on the field.
Or was it a
Gase's
challenge over
feet.
the far side from Adam Gase, the head coach of the Jets? We were wondering why we didn't see one earlier. Because the monitors we have, coaches have in their booths upstairs.
They can see it like we did. That ball hits the turf.
And they're in communication with their head coach.
I like that ball by Bridgewater. He felt the pressure. He saw the pocket collapsing, worked himself up into it, and put it into a spot to A.J. to make the play.
New York is challenging the ruling on the field of the completed pass.
It looked like it caught the turf. Bobbled, turf, back to A.J. Derby. Couldn't get it off, could they?
They tried to get that next play off, which you see from time to time. You're forcing the other team to at least use their challenge flags, and if they don't, you try to steal it and keep the game moving. But I think there was enough time there for Gase and whoever's in his headset to relay down that it's worth challenging. The ball possibly could have touched the turf, right?
Well, A.J. Derby came in after camp already started and joined the squad after the first preseason game, and give him credit. A 4th-year tight end from Arkansas. He has done nothing to hurt his chances.
No, I think he's shown up and made plays throughout the time that he's given. But it seems to be a little bit of a battle right now, and you hate to see Garrett Griffin go down earlier in this game because He's one of the ones who's scrapped and been associated with the Saints for some time now, and injuries at inopportune times can be pretty detrimental for guys and give opportunities for others like AJ.
Yeah, and Garrett Griffin, of course, don't forget, had a touchdown catch in the NFC title game. The latest on Garrett Griffin. Let's head over to Megan Payton. Megan. Okay, technical difficulties. Pass is incomplete. Took a while, but we had a feeling that would be the conclusion.
Well, they could come up to us. Our unbiased reporting from the booth could have let you know that that one very possibly could have touched the turf.
So they're going to put now 34 seconds on the clock. And now it's going to be second down for the Saints at their own 24, second and 10. It's doubtful, by the way, on the return of Garrett Griffin, unfortunately. A guy that's battling for that third tight end spot. Line in Washington in the eye. On the deep drop after the play fake underneath Washington, he can't hang on. And he did hang on. He was buried and belted, and he did finally hang on to the football. Jamal Adams cleaned up, though, because Washington had to turn around for one behind him.
Jamal Adams brought the boom. And if Dwayne Washington held on to that ball, that's impressive.
He said it.
He wanted to let him know that he may have got a shot on me, but I was able to bring the ball in.
So that'll be the final snap of a productive start for the Saints. A real impressive drive to start the game with Drew Brees. 8 plays, 72 yards, touchdown catch by Mike Thomas, then points off a takeaway by Will Lutz. And at the end of the first quarter, it's 10-0 Saints. Tonight's Saints game is brought to you in part by Rouse's, the official supermarket of the New Orleans Saints. And by Cox. Watch together, cheer together, celebrate together. Cox, proud partner of the New Orleans Saints. Magnificent night to be in New York. And welcome back once again. Start of the second quarter. 5 penalties, and that's why you see the concerned look for Sean Payton. Can't tell he's up 10-0, and that's the score now. Can they convert on third down? Kirkwood out of his reach. As we look at the numbers at the end of the first quarter, the Saints are now 3 of 6 on their third down conversions. And did a good job overall offensively with Drew Brees on the field.
Yes, that first series was efficient. It worked its way down. You found your superstars in Alvin Kamara and Michael Thomas. And then you create a turnover on that second series with Marshawn Lattimore just ripping the ball from Ty Montgomery. So started off well, and because the penalties began to lag.
Greg Dortch waits for the punt on the low snap. And Thomas Morstead, another very good one. Great hang time. Dortch does not call for the fair catch and pays. Back inside the 30 at about the 25-yard line. Good coverage. J.T. Gray down there for the Saints. And our Cox connection to the game, this early contest, part of the context. Watch together, cheer together, celebrate together. It's Cox, proud partner of the Saints. Not a shock on the receiving end.
No, or from the throwing end for that matter.
Yes.
That's the dynamic duo that New Orleans has come to rely on time and time again.
You know, it's amazing. First, Kamara lasted till the third round. And now, as we watch Mike Thomas grow and more catches than any player in NFL history over his first 3 seasons, how did he last till the second round?
Isn't it amazing? There's some GMs across the country debating how they let those guys slip past.
Sam Darnold in there for his 4th series of the first half. Underneath it goes, and Montgomery has it. Good open field tackle, taking him down just past the 30 at the 31 for the Saints. And in on that coverage for the Saints, J.T. Gray was down there for special teams play. And that's where the battle is. It's for guys that are not the first 5 or 6 in the secondary to make it, whether you're a safety or corner, on special teams too.
From the secondary to the linebackers, those guys are relied upon in these special teams opportunities. They've got to maximize and show that they can come up and make plays when they're asked to on defense, just like Chauncey Gardner-Johnson right here. He's one of your drafted safeties who played some slot at Florida when he was in college and sees the break, makes a break on the ball, and breaks up the pass.
It may have gotten there early, but you like that aggressiveness.
Anuno would definitely wanted the call, and you saw that back arm, but as much yellow as on the field so far this game, I'm happy to see 1 or 2 slip past him.
Blitz on the outside. It falls incomplete, but on the outside, Trey Hendrickson just buried Sam Darnold. Clean shot on the quarterback.
Demario Davis is going, I barely breathed on Darnold earlier, and Trey Hendricks buries his face between the 1 and the 4 on Sam Darnold.
Not fair.
And does not let up. Sam Darnold still feeling that one as he's making his way to the sideline.
So he wanted that 4 series in there, did he? Sam Darnold.
Yeah, maybe 1 too many.
Deontay Harris waits for the punt. And a good one this time by Edwards. And Harris, did he step out? Yes. It looked like he stepped out on the sideline. He's down anyway, and he did go out of bounds right about the 20-21 yard line. I want to remind you can stay in touch with everything regarding the Saints. Just download the Final Play app. It's Saints news, videos. Deuce McAllister is going to give you inside analysis as well. We saw Deuce earlier tonight in the press box. Who Dat Nation's best way to keep up. Go to the Saints Final Play app and download it today. And then the Mountain of a Man also joined us in the booth earlier. Zach Streif, your old partner.
Big Streif's only getting bigger.
We love it. So the Saints get it back. Teddy Bridgewater stays in at quarterback. We're going to see Emmanuel Butler now, the rookie, undrafted out of Northern Arizona, who started camp and it was incredible and then got hurt, unfortunately.
And you want to see him take advantage of these opportunities. Coach Payton alluded to some guys that had struggled with injuries earlier in this camp having opportunities to prove what they can offer, and Emmanuel Butler definitely fits the bill there.
That was a pretty good jump cut by Dwayne Washington with penetration in the backfield.
Just to get yardage. You know, for these guys, you don't have to turn everything into a touchdown run, but if you can create 3 yards where there's none present, that'll keep you around. 3 yards, a 2nd and 7 is much better than 2nd and 10.
Zach Line stays in the backfield with Dwayne Washington. Dan Arnold setting up on the right side. It'll be Washington on the cutback. Not much available on 2nd down. Maybe a yard at the most to about the 25. It's going to bring up 3rd and 6. 4th series of the game offensively for the Saints. 3rd with Teddy Bridgewater at quarterback. Run down by Williams as Washington hobbles over to the sideline a little bit. Hopefully he's okay. Austin Carr coming onto the field. Traquan Smith also in there on this 3rd and a little more than 6, almost 7. In the tight formation. Good coverage underneath. And open field tackle. Otherwise, it's Austin Carr for a 1st down, but a great job by Brandon Bryant out of Mississippi State in his 2nd season.
Well, Bryant's got to make that play, and it's because the Jets bring an overload blitz to the left side of the offensive line. And Bridgewater recognizes where the pressure's coming from, throws behind it, trying to give Austin Carr an opportunity to make a play right there, and the safeties closes and prevents a 1st down.
Dortch waiting for the punt from Morstead as the Saints go 3 and out for the 1st time tonight. Returnable one this time for Dortch. Wanted to break the containment on one side, goes back the other way, and it pays off. Big return against the Saints last week by the Chargers at the end of the half, and now a flag at the end of the play as he goes across the midfield stripe. So good cut by Dortch, reversed his field.
Well, you got to expect more from your coverage unit. Justin Hardy and Chris Banjo were your 2 gunners. They did their job.
During the return, personal foul, unnecessary roughness on the receiving team, number 15. 15 yards penalty from the spot of the foul.
That's on a wide receiver. You don't find many unnecessary roughness on. That was Josh Bellamy. Saints will take it. Jets get it back, but the Saints are up by 10. New York Jets get it for the 5th time in the 1st half, and all with Sam Darnold on the field as their 1st round pick, 3rd overall pick in last year's draft out of USC. Well, they're trying to get something on the board with Darnold, leave on a good note for him. And this is a team, don't forget, as Drew Brees was so successful on his first series and then left the game after he engineered that 72-yard march with a touchdown pass. Jets were 4-12 last year. 4 out of the last 5 seasons, they have only had 4 or 5 wins. Playoff dry spell, they have not been to the postseason for 8 consecutive seasons.
Wow.
Ty Montgomery on the first down carry gets about 5 up to the 40-yard line. So we're spoiled. 7-9 is not a good record, and we've seen
it for years.
Right, but I'm bringing that up because after the last 2 years where the Saints won 28 games, pretty amazing what the Saints did.
Yes, it is.
Are making 24 wins over the last 2 seasons.
And it's impressive because of the sustainability of their success and something that's been rather elusive for this Jets team.
Good penetration of the backfield once again. And blowing up the play underneath Taylor Stallworth. Guy that wasn't drafted. Played in 13 games last year, Stinge, as a rookie out of South Carolina. And man, did he made a difference.
Well, he's a plugger inside. I think that's why you heard Coach Payton early on say that that's a significant battle going on at that defensive tackle spot. Sheldon Rankins still isn't back from his injury that he's recovering from last year, but you bring in some veterans, and Stallworth is a returning defensive lineman that's already in the mix.
4 wide receivers in the set. An empty backfield for Darnold on 3rd and 5 from the 40. Too much time, and he's going to go for the bundle. He's got a receiver. It's a grab inside the 20. Taken in by Robbie Anderson. The D-back on that side never saw it. That's a good grab. Patrick Robinson didn't turn around in time, did he?
No, and that seems to be a little bit out of position for P-Rob. He's lined up as that corner. He's really... He made a name for himself in Philadelphia covering the slot as a nickel back. Now you have him out there in space. That's a different feel for these defensive backs, and Robbie Anderson's a good wide receiver that was able to exploit the matchup right there.
So a timeout called by the Saints as the Jets wanted to get up to the line. It was a 41-yard catch by Robbie Anderson, former Temple Owl, a guy that was not drafted, but he's done a good job for them. In fact, 113 catches over the last 2 years and 13 of them in the end zone. So Anderson coming over to the sideline. That's the most productive snap so far for the New York Jets. It'll be a short timeout. So they wanted to keep Darnold out there. They wanted something positive, especially after the hit he took.
I think if you're a head coach, you're trying to generate momentum. You're trying to generate chemistry, and you leave your ones out there to, as long as it's reasonable, to create that. And they're looking for a series like what the Saints experienced in their first series, is some chemistry, some continuity, and ability to move it down the field.
Trips on the wide side of the field. Another empty set of the backfield. Underneath, well timed, good grab though. It looked like it was going to be popped out by C.J. Gardner-Johnson, but Jamison Crowder held on to it. Wide receiver out of Duke.
Well, it's Gardner-Johnson again, working against the slot. Had experience from college. He's a rookie. Tries to make a break on the ball. But Crowder makes a better play than Gardner-Johnson there.
It'll be 2nd and short at about the 11. Inside give. Nice little stutter step. Should be enough for the first down. Let's see where they stack him up inside the 10. It's Ty Montgomery again out of Stanford. Shy Tuttle, the rookie out of Tennessee, wrapping him up for the Saints. And not enough. It's going to be 3rd and less than a yard, and they're going to go in a hurry. So it's still just Montgomery in the backfield. And Montgomery's got more than enough for a 1st and goal inside the 5 on a drive that started for the Jets back at their own 35-yard line. But you're looking at a lot of 2nd and 3rds in there. Now, the Saints are evaluating guys as well.
And this D-line is guys that you're expecting to play in week 1, really throughout the season. That's Trey Hendrickson and Stallworth and Tuttle and Gino. These are all guys that can come out and play, so there shouldn't be as much let off.
It's at the 4. 1st and goal for Darnold. Ton of time. Back of the end zone, almost intercepted. Flag down on the play. And let's see if it was defensive holding. A lot of congestion.
Prior to the pass, holding, defense, number 38. half the distance to the goal. Automatic. First down.
That's Terrell Williams Jr. in his second season out of Houston.
That's still an aggressive throw by Darnold. There is a lot of Saints bodies in the middle of that play. So lucky that Gardner Johnson didn't get away with an interception right there. But Williams had a little wrap up on the receiver coming across early.
So first and goal. It's at the 2. Different look. They're looking for Montgomery out of the backfield. He's got it. Touchdown Jets.
Well, you talked about Montgomery's ability as a receiver. There's a reason why he's wearing number 88 as a running back. And he's been able to do it throughout his career. He's got great hands. You bring him from one side of the formation across, make it more difficult on the linebacker who's trying to track with him. Montgomery's just got sweet hands for a running back.
Yeah, and let's not forget, second-year quarterback Sam Darnold. That's a beautiful touch.
That was a great touch, and it's over the head of Colton Jumper, a guy who came up with a nice interception to finish the game against the Chargers last week.
Bertolet, I mentioned, he missed a couple of extra points last week trying to secure a spot on this squad. On its way, man, it is dead down the middle. First points of the game. Sam Darnold takes him 65 yards, and the Jets are on the board on the 2-yard touchdown toss to Ty Montgomery. It was a perfect drive as far as Sam Darnold and the Jets are concerned. Darnold didn't miss. 3 of 3. 41 of the 51 yards passing went on one, and that was the Robbie Anderson completion. But they are truly featuring the man who caught the football, Ty Montgomery. They've had 22 offensive snaps, 12 touches by Montgomery already.
And rightfully so. He's been productive carrying the ball and just scored a touchdown as a receiver out of the backfield.
Yeah, 8 of the 12 have been on the ground. He's carried it 8 times. He's caught it 4 times. This is a guy that was with the Ravens last year. Montgomery started out as a 3rd-round pick of the Packers in 2015. He's got some wheels. He can make plays. Bertolet kicks it away. It'll be Deontay Harris from about the 2. Laying up the middle, closes in a hurry, and a flag down, unfortunately, as well.
I'd be surprised if there wasn't a flag at this point in the game.
Saints about to get it for the 5th time offensively, but where?
Return, holding, receiving team number 54. 10-yard penalty. First down.
It's on reserve linebacker Josh Martin.
Well, if a guy runs past you, you can't grab his arm and expect no one to see that.
So breakdown in special teams. It goes back to the 11-yard line. And let's see what the Saints can do now with 8:18 to play. So Teddy Bridgewater has hit half his 10 attempts so far.
And you need to see him find a rhythm. I think they tried early on, start with a screen to the running back, get some easy throws, but now your feet are wet. You got to get into a rhythm.
Underneath, behind, but the only place he could throw it where the linebacker wasn't going to be able to get it. And a good grab by Emmanuel Butler with flags on the play.
Flags on the play. I think every ref who had a flag in their pocket threw it on this play.
There's 4. There's a new record for this game so far.
All on the same call. I mean, I don't know what he's thinking right there, but
wow.
After the runner was down, personal foul, unnecessary roughness on the defense number 38. 15 yards will be added to the dead ball spot. First down.
Is that the definition of hitting a defenseless receiver?
That is incredible. I don't know what he's thinking there, but Bryant just decides to tee off on Emmanuel Butler, who's down on the ground, not trying to advance. Great catch by Emmanuel Butler, but Bryant just comes off and waylays him right in the back.
Coach, you like that play?
Well,
first down from the 36.
I like the catch by Butler.
I do too. And Bridgewater threw it. The linebacker was over on the other side. He had to throw it there. Good grab. Derby's got it, but a holding call coming up. So Bridgewater hits A.J. Derby. It's about 9 on the reception.
Offense, number 64. 10-yard penalty. First down.
That's on Will Clapp. So Will Clapp
Cameron Tom, guys that helped out and added depth to the squad last year.
I think there's a lot of depth for these Saints offensive line on the interior. Will Clapp, Cameron Tom, Nick Easton. There's some guys that can play if called upon. But man, at the penalties.
Yeah, the first game we had 15 between the two teams at halftime. Ozigbo stays with the backfield. And on the dump out in the flat, Ozigbo makes a miss, breaks the tackle, yards after contact on 1st and 20. Boy, got a lot of it back, didn't he?
Well,
got about 14 yards.
That'll get the attention of the coaches. For Ozigbo, it's just let's see what we can make back from the yards we lost on the penalty. Bridgewater finds him as a late release. He makes a great catch in his ability to spin and find the ball. Then, in open space, makes one guy miss, breaks a tackle. Great play by Ozigbo, who's trying to make the most of his opportunities every chance he gets.
Huskers have always turned out good backs. There's no question about that.
Yes, sir.
A team that features the ground game. Grab made. First down, Saints. It goes into the hands of Emmanuel Butler, the rookie from Northern Arizona. You always like a big target to begin with. And then when we started camp, Stinch, you know it. You heard all of a sudden these comparisons with Marcus Colston.
Well, yes, just because he's a big guy who's coming from a smaller school, and really every report coming out of camp early was saying Emmanuel Butler is the guy to watch. Then he gets slowed up with an injury. Last week he kind of doinks one off his face mask, but he's catching the ball cleanly, going to grab the ball with his hands. Seems to be a very promising young prospect for this offense that they're really excited about.
Looking at one of the New York Jets right now. That's Anthony Wint out of Florida International. So that's why we have the delay right now. On a first down coming up for the Saints on this drive that started back at the 11, and you wanted to see a little rhythm from Teddy Bridgewater, and he's throwing strikes.
He's throwing great balls, and found Emmanuel Butler on a couple of them, who's made some nice catches. So good series so far for Bridgewater. He needed to find a rhythm, and like you say, has been able to get them outside of inside the 20 where they started off, and find Emmanuel Butler on some nice balls.
And on that first catch by Butler, a lot of people say, well, wasn't it behind the receiver? Yeah, but the linebacker, You're
exactly right.
He was going to get it if it went to the other side.
If Bridgewater were to lead Butler on that pass, that's an interception.
Zach Line splits out wide. Looking one way, going the other, and now Bridgewater throws it away at the feet with a holding call coming up. A flag out of the secondary potentially. Quinnen Williams with the heat in the face of Teddy Bridgewater.
Well, Emmanuel Butler split out to
Prior to the pass, holding, defense, number 25, 5-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
So Butler split out to the bottom, the right side of the offense, down at the bottom of your screen, right in the middle of your screen, really. Makes a move. That's holding, folks, as it turns out. Can't do that.
That's everything but a tackle,
position.
isn't it?
Now,
First
Teddy
down.
Pumps. He's trying to find a receiver and is able to get the ball away before Quinnen Williams gets the sack.
Ozigbo between the tackles for a yard. That is all. Clock moving. A little more than 6 minutes to play in the first 30 minutes. So Pete Carmichael called him in game one at home. And back to normal now. Sean Payton with the card.
So it appears. Hope you enjoyed that, Pete.
Would you like my input? 2nd and 9 from the 47. And there's Pete. Really good staff.
And it's a team effort.
You said
the whole crew puts everything together. And
good footwork. Teddy Bridgewater extending the play, and out of bounds he goes. And a flag laid on the shove. Right. It's going to be an automatic 15. Brandon Bryant.
It looks maybe Quinnen Williams right there laid on the hit with Teddy Bridgewater, who I don't know if anybody follows Quinnen Williams, but you talk about a quotable guy. Well, he's entertaining, buddy. He's something else. It's like playing Madden, except in Madden.
Well, how about this footwork right there?
This is. I'm encouraged to see this by Teddy Bridgewater. I would be even more encouraged if he just throws the ball out of bounds instead of taking that shot.
There is no foul for a late hit out of bounds on the quarterback. Reset the play clock to 40 seconds.
Interesting. He was well out of bounds. Got the tap from behind.
And it was
by Brandon Bryant.
Yeah, it was Bryant. Quinnen was over there with him.
Well, Quinnen's the rookie out of Alabama that you're discussing. He was 3rd overall in the draft.
Well, anybody who saw him play at Alabama, he was super disruptive, and it has been so far this series. The holding call earlier against Clapp was working against Quinnen Williams. He's a talent, he's a load, and he's also very quotable and entertaining. So I recommend following him, Joel.
I'm on Twitter right now for him.
Good.
Bridgewater with the gun over the middle, first down Saints. Good grab, A.J. making himself available again, A.J. Derby.
Maximizing his opportunities. Who's to say whether or not he would be on the field if Garrett Griffin hadn't sustained that injury earlier in the half. But given these opportunities, there was the one ball where it was debatable whether he caught it, and they challenged it. It ended up having touched the turf, but two nice catches for Derby, and has been in position for playmaking and has made the most of his opportunities so far.
Yeah, settled between the linebackers very well, didn't he? First down Saints at the 37. Bridgewater on the little flare. Ozigbo's got blockers, and Ozigbo has another first down, I believe. Let's see where they mark it at about the 27. He'll be short by half a yard. It was Kyle Phillips, the rookie out of Tennessee, who tracked him down.
Well, this is a staple for the Saints offense, is their ability to get the screen game going, and Bridgewater takes a shot from behind but still finds Ozigbo, who I like in space. He's been able to make a couple guys miss and advance the ball well.
Doing his best I am hip imitation. Johnny Rodgers, maybe. It'll be second and less than a yard. Ozigbo, I don't think he got there. In fact, he lost about a half a yard as he's down. It'll be third down and short. Let's head downstairs, check in once again with Megan Payton. Megan?
If there's anybody who knows how quickly a career could end in the NFL, it's Teddy Bridgewater. 3 years ago, almost to the day, he suffered an injury that many thought would end his playing career. Obviously, he's back now, and the advice he's giving the younger guys is to take advantage of every opportunity you have. Every rep counts, and you need to make the best of it.
Yeah, good point, Megan. And he realizes that he was a Jet for a moment. He never suited up for him. Mickey Loomis, Jeff Ireland, and the Saints sent a third-round pick at a good move. It's Dwayne Washington breaking the tackle for the first down. It was initially right at the line of scrimmage. He ran right through it, and it's a first down for the Saints at the 25. But a drive, don't forget, that started Stinch back at their own 11.
Yeah, it's been a nice drive for Bridgewater and really the Saints offense. Spread the ball out, found Butler for a couple plays. Nice screen pass to Ozigbo and Washington. I think those guys are really just battling. Ozigbo and Washington, they want the opportunities. They want to earn that third position role for this offense for the Saints.
Two tight end formation, but Arnold goes in motion. And for Arnold, just out of his reach. He was available, overthrown, but Bridgewater again with the heat coming. He took a shot at the end of the play. He is backpedaling.
Well, every time he's throwing the ball, he's getting at least contact from this D line. He sails it just out of the reach of Dan Arnold right there, who's in position in front of that safety coming over the top. But I'm telling you, Bridgewater's taking a lot of heat this half.
Yeah, and that's his first miss on this drive after starting the drive 5 of 10. Passing, Teddy is now 10 of 16 for 89 yards, facing a 2nd and 10. Ozigbo in the flat? No. Instead, underneath Grayson, and he's wrapped up immediately at about the 21-yard line. There's no question, if they have a 40-yard dash, I'm betting on him.
Yes, without a doubt. Now the question is, can Grayson be a wide receiver? I mean, He's got straight line speed. There's no doubt there. But can he run routes? Can he fight for the ball? Something that is sometimes hard for your track guys as they make the transition.
So now third down, man 7. Protection holds up, man. Grayson turned in, ball went towards the sideline, so a little miscommunication there on the pass. Alex Brown in the coverage.
Well, it's hard to say. I mean, from up here, you don't know who's at fault here. Is Bridgewater throwing the ball too wide, or is Grayson a step further on the break? And it's a timing issue, but there was obvious miscommunication between the quarterback and receiver there.
It'll be a 40-yard attempt for Will Lutz. Already has a 39-yarder tonight. He is perfect on the preseason. 7 for 7, trying to put the Saints up by 6. And does exactly that. Save some, Will. Save some.
He is unbelievable. Saints by 6, 13-7 as we continue in New Jersey. Plenty of new head coaches in the NFL this season. In fact, you've got 8 right there, so 25% of the 32 teams, 25% new head coaches, and Adam Gase included, but he was the head coach of the Dolphins the last 3 seasons.
What an amazing spread of backgrounds. You look at across the board, from the experience of Bruce Arians to the fresh new look of Cliff Kingsbury, former teammate and New Orleans Saint. I mean, it's a lot of varying backgrounds that you see from the 8.
It's over the head of Trenton Cannon. Good kick once again by Will Lutz. So Adam Gase, the previous 3 seasons, the head coach of the Miami Dolphins. Don't forget, they ended a long dry spell. They went to the postseason. Now, not last year, it was the year before. And he's also considered an exceptional quarterback coach.
And that's why I think he got this role, is to develop Sam Darnold, and it's probably why he's getting most of the reps today in this first half. Is they're still trying to build rapport between Gase and Darnold from up to this point.
Right. Simeon takes over, and wide of his intended target, Bilal Powell, running back out of Louisville. So that's the first snap for the new quarterback. Simeon in his 5th year out of Northwestern, a former 7th round pick of the Broncos in 2015. He's got 24 starts over the 16 and 17 seasons with Denver. And for his career, he's hit 59% with 30 touchdowns, 24 picks. It seems like I was watching the Broncos in the preseason stinch. Right. Underneath it goes. The completion is for a short game to Deontay Burnett. I think Flacco was a really good pickup for Denver.
Well, they needed stability. You talk about the turnover that's been created in Denver. They're going up tempo right here.
We're coming right back. We've reached the 2-minute warning after that hit and stop by a young man we'll talk about in a little bit, Caden Ellis, 7th round pick, and he's done a good job. The young man from Idaho. Saints by 6, 2 minutes left in the half. Welcome back once again to MetLife Stadium, East Rutherford, New Jersey. Former home of the Meadowlands, next to the arena that used to house the New Jersey Nets, now the Brooklyn Nets. Joel Myers, John Stinchcomb, Megan Payton down on the sideline, and short toss, and did he hold on? Yes. Up to the 34, short of the first down by a yard though. That's the first snap inside the 2-minute warning. And do we have a timeout?
Well, it's Ziggy Hood on the pressure.
Saints will use the timeout, stop the clock, get it back on a 4th and 1. We are headed to the studio. Juan Kincaid in the studio with the newest member of the New Orleans Sports Hall of Fame, Pat Swilling. So that's at the break. Sideline to sideline, Pat could get around.
Buddy, he was part of that dome patrol that was scary. That whole defense was menacing, and I think a great addition to any Hall of Fame, hard earned. I'm glad we were not in the same era.
So on 4th and 1, Saints will get it right back, a 3 and out on the first series for Trevor Siemian. Deontay Harris, and on a long one, this is returnable now from the 12. Looking for a lane, he found it and put down across the 20 to the 25, but that lean he has once he hits that burst.
He hits it hard. I think that's why you see him so many times. I also love the fact that we had a punt with no penalties.
That is a shock. Teddy Bridgewater, and we mentioned he was here with the Jets, and it was a brief stop with the New York Jets. So the 1st round pick by Minnesota, a Pro Bowler in his 2nd season, and then a devastating knee injury. Signed by the Jets, picked up by the Saints for a 3rd round pick. And now back in there at quarterback. We'll see Taysom Hill, there's no question, in the 2nd half. From the 25, and a good 2-minute opportunity to work the drill. It's wide of a Zigbo.
There was some action right there on a Zigbo as he's making his break, but Teddy's been under some serious heat this game. There's a shot from Jordan Jenkins Won't be the last. Quinnen Williams around his legs as he gets rid of it. Bryant comes through. I mean, he was under some serious duress this entire half.
Well, the Saints defense, or make it the Jets defense, is going to look totally different from last year with the new coordinator. That's a fastball to Dan Arnold. Had a good grab for about 8 yards. It'll bring up 3rd and short now. Doug Middleton in on that stop out of Appalachian State. Defense last year for the Jets, they were 25th overall, giving up 380 plus yards a game, and 24th against the pass, 26th on the run. And grab made. What a pivot. Good move. That's the grab made by Emmanuel Butler, once again the big wide receiver. I like to stop.
Yep, and I like the way he's catching the ball with his hands. He's going out and snatching the ball, and it's just that 2-minute drill that every team runs. Another nice ball by Teddy Bridgewater across the middle for Dan Arnold.
Dan Arnold's got the grab. He's brought down by Brandon Bryant. And another first down for the Saints all the way to the 42-yard line.
Well, he's finding some big targets. Dan Arnold's he's got length, and so does Emmanuel Butler.
And they're picking up the extra pass rusher as well. Grab, yes, Deontay Harris, and he got both feet down. He dotted it. Brown got the tag on him there, but he was aware of where he was on the sideline.
And that's something that I think can only enhance the chances for Deontay Harris. Obviously, he's made a name for himself as a returner, but if he adds value as a receiver, that really stands to be to his advantage.
So
make sure he gets 2 down right there, right? That right leg.
Yep. In the backfield now, it's Javorius Allen for the Saints. They spread them out 2 to each side. Impressive so far, but here comes the extra rusher now for Deontay Harris, and wide of the intended target. He was looking in, ball was over the outside shoulder.
First really miss by Bridgewater in this series up to this point, and you still got time, 28 seconds, but you can take a shot into the end zone, and Bridgewater wasn't able to connect. But so far this series has done a really good job of spreading the ball and finding his receivers.
Saints still have 1 timeout remaining as they get ready for a 2nd and 10 at the 25. Washington back into the game. Or is it Allen? Allen stays in the game.
I think it might be Jaquiz Rogers.
That's right. It is Jaquiz Rogers. Now Bridgewater extends the play. Good work in the pocket. And throws it away outside of the tackle box.
Smart decision late.
You said it. So Jaquiz Rogers is in there. Number 37, 27 Dwayne Washington, saw the most of the work early in the game. We saw Kamara first series, and also Michael Thomas if he joins a little bit late. They have both departed with good reason.
And Jaquiz Rogers should be familiar to the NFC South watchers. He's been both for the Buccaneers and the Falcons, right? So he's bounced around the NFC South.
Stays in the backfield, now 3rd and 10. Still a timeout, so if you want to use the middle of the field, you can. And it is underneath and in and out of the hands of Emmanuel Butler on the fastball.
Well, when those receivers clap at the end of the play, you know they're not real excited about it. And Bridgewater tries to get him on the slant. Still going to be short of a first down, but Emmanuel Butler's on the sideline now getting an earful from Coach Johnson.
And it was good timing, though. But give the defensive back, Alex Brown, some credit. Good timing on his part as well. It'll be a 43-yard attempt by Will Lutz. He's got a 39-yarder and a 40-yarder. It's on its way. And did he hook it? Yes, wide left. Well, how was the exchange between the snap and the hold?
That's when you know you're good. That's what we're looking for. Was it somebody else? Could have been. It was the laces out.
Right at him.
Laces out. It was Einhorn. Should have been Finkel.
You're classic. Missed 43-yard field goal. He's unreal. Totally incredible for this team to have somebody that you count on and know he's going to hit at the rate. And he set a franchise record last year, hitting 92, almost 93%.
Well, I don't want to say that you jinxed him, but you did say it. Right?
Well, I said save some. Kick. I did say save some.
Save some, right?
I said nothing about laces. Timeout on the field at the half. So productive one, especially to see Drew Brees out there for the first time. And the Saints go to the break up by 6. Halftime continues in New Jersey, and the Saints trying to make it 2 in a row after a good second half last week in Southern California, leading by 6 at the break. And the Stars, they were on the field for the Saints, especially in the first series.
Well, that first series, you saw Drew Brees. It featured Michael Thomas and Alvin Kamara, your 3 superstars that you haven't been able to see a lot of so far this preseason. But they only needed one series to say they're in tip-top shape, ready for the season.
Yeah, real consistent. 4 for 6, 68 yards passing for Drew Brees. And it was seamless for a guy, and we know he's going to the Hall of Fame, but still it was seamless. He was in tune with his receivers and his running backs.
Well, he's a type player that raises everyone's play, and that's no different for Alvin Kamara and Michael Thomas. That entire group looked sharp that first series, and you saw a little bit of a drop-off. Teron Armstead leaves the game, and for Teddy Bridgewater, he's been under pressure for most of the snaps that he's had the ball. So obviously a different set of offensive linemen and protection was provided for Drew in that first series than what Teddy's been able to experience for the rest of the half. And I think he's really rallied last game. There has been some commentary that he didn't play exceptionally well, and the stats may not tell the entire story for him this game, but I thought he's moved in the pocket well and found some receivers.
Second half underway as Lutz gets into it. Trenton Cannon has it sail over his head. It's time for our sideline report. All brought to you by Visit Baton Rouge, an authentic Louisiana experience, as we head downstairs to Megan Payton. Megan.
I talked to head coach Sean Payton during the half, and he told me that there was great tempo in the drive with Drew Brees. He said defensively he was pleased. They were able to create a turnover, and we can expect to see Taysom Hill for the rest of the game.
All right. Thank you, Megan. And I'll tell you, she's a pro. She did not say, I talked to my dad.
No.
She said, I talked to Sean Payton.
Coach Payton.
Yes, yep. I like it. So it is Simeon starting the second half. We saw him on the last series, and breaking outside. It's Trenton Cannon. And down the sideline, a good gain on the first snap of the second half for the New York Jets. Banjo forces him out, and is it a broken tackle on the outside?
Well, he said contain, and that's Crawley getting caught up in the trash, not able to keep contained. Got a little nosy on the inside and was leaving that entire edge out in the air.
It's a gain of 25 yards on the first snap of the second half. Cannon stays in the backfield and bounces through the middle. Ankle tackle, otherwise he's gone. Banjo again, the free safety. And he's got 13.
So he had a little burst right there through the hole, and shot out of a cannon is going to be his new nickname, right?
6th round pick last year out of Virginia at 5'10", 180 in his second season. So an opportunity. And Trevor Simeon in his 5th year from Northwestern. He took over for Sam Darnold on the final series of the first half. It's Cannon again, nothing doing on that right side, as he's put down after a gain of a yard or two. It's going to be interesting to see with Taysom Hill in there, because, and I mentioned to you while we were talking during halftime, what we really liked about Teddy Bridgewater, the way he started to extend the pocket and he started to show his mobility.
Well, he had to. I think the pocket was collapsing time and time again to where he had to take those couple steps, 2-3 left and right outside of the conventional pocket, and then was able to scramble and continue to keep his eyes downfield. There was a hit out of bounds, and you know he was under duress for most of that half.
The dump off for Cannon on second down. He's bolted out of bounds at about the 30. It's Caden Ellis, 9 total tackles over the first 2. So Taysom Hill did a great job in the second half. He made plays in the second half, and the first guy usually doesn't get him.
No, he's arguably one of the best athletes on any roster, and proved last week that he's not just a special teams guy or a gimmick guy. He's a great quarterback and can extend plays and be a threat with not only his legs but his arm.
Elijah McGuire out of Louisiana, Lafayette guy, and in and out of the hands, and it was there for Crawley, wasn't it?
I'm sure Ken Crawley is wanting one more shot at it. He's running step for step with the receiver. He's out there on an island. He knows it. He's got great coverage. He's in front. He's got an opportunity to make a play on the ball, and it just goes right through his hands.
Covering Deontay Thompson on the outside. So now a field goal try coming up as they can't convert on third down. Bertolet, we got the extra point through. Second year out of Texas A&M. He's been with the Rams and the Broncos. It'll be a 48-yard attempt on its way. And he's got it. So it stalls after a couple of long runs by Trenton Cannon, but they get a field goal from Bertolet and make it a 3-point game as we get ready for Taysom Hill. Sensational second half for Taysom Hill last week, Stinch in Southern California.
Well, he made plays with his legs. He found targets open, which Austin Carr was very grateful to have that much space, but really a productive second half that he's looking to build upon in this third preseason game here in New York.
Couple of touchdown passes. Deontay Harris waits for the kick and well over his head. So Taysom Hill's first activity of the night off a success against the Chargers and a come-from-behind win last week, 19-17. Taysom was 11 for 15 passing for 136 yards. A couple of scores. We saw the one to a Zigbo, Austin Carr, 5 carries, and in fact he led the Saints on the ground last week with 53 yards.
Well, he's got that capability. I mean, he's obviously a run threat. It's a role that he was utilized in last year, just not from the quarterback position. And what you saw from last week's performance against the Chargers is that he can keep defenses honest with both his arm and his leg.
And it's off the fingertips.
Never seen that before.
Of A.J. Derby. And his lineman was trying to avoid contact with him. So,
my bad.
Right. It was Patrick Omama. And it was like, can I get out of the way? No, you're too big to get out of the way.
Derby was in the way for him, but look at that. You know, honestly, there's no explanation for that. I don't have anything for you, Joel. Never seen it. I've never seen that before.
I'm out here. It's a good reaction by Taysom. I'm out here to block for you, but sorry I took you down.
Oh, my bad. My bad, man.
Second and 10 from the 25. It's the preseason. Extra rusher up the middle. Gray drops the football. It'll be an incomplete one. He wanted to run before he had it.
Did he ever? Yeah, he made a break on the ball. He made a break, sees the ball coming out of that break, and he's already running. He just hadn't secured the pass. His eyes go upfield. Man, secure that pass first.
So the Saints with 244 yards of total offense. Most of it through the air. And now looking at a 3rd and 10. Jacquizz Rodgers in the game. Van Hill in trouble. He's on his way down. So Taysom Hill, they got him low. Held on. Man, former Saint Arthur Maulet.
Yeah, we know that name. Absolutely. So rough first series for this offensive unit led by Taysom Hill. A drop pass and a screen pass that offensive tackle should get credit for a pass breakup of some sort, and then a sack. So rough first 3 plays for the Saints offense.
Thomas Morstead to punt on the 3 and out. And that's only the second time that has happened to the Saints tonight. And a really good punt with a flag down on the play. Dortch over to the sideline and out of bounds across the 40. Let's see what the flag is all about, though. I'm surprised it took that long. We've had that many flags tonight. He joins a little bit late. 13 penalties between the two teams in the first half.
During the kick, holding, receiving team number 37. 10-yard penalty from the end of the kick. First down.
Yeah, and that was right on. Right after the snap was Arthur Maulet. He was holding on to the gunner.
And it was Gardner Johnson who drew the flag, so good job for him.
Tonight's Saints game is brought to you in part by Hooters. Host your fantasy draft at Hooters and get a free draft kit plus $200 worth of freebies.
and by Cox. Watch together, cheer together, celebrate together. Cox, proud partner of the New Orleans Saints. Manhattan. No, not Manhattan, Kansas. The Little Apple. They got a problem with the clock, so they're trying to work on that right now. Welcome back once again. While we have this opportunity, by the way, Stinch, you and I got excited when we heard the news. And congratulations to the group from River Ridge.
Can you believe it?
And they have now won the National Little League World Series Championship. They're the national champs. How great is that?
The pride of River Ridge.
Congratulations to all those young men. Grab is made on 1st and 10 from the 22. And take it in. It was Deontay Thompson, a wide receiver. Josh Martin finally got him down. So Deontay Thompson, 6 foot, 205-pounder, out of Florida. At a first down out to the 42. Simeon stays in there at quarterback. The former Denver Bronco. Elijah McGuire, the tailback, who gets the call. And a good bounce outside. He's forced out by J.T. Gray. But a good adjustment. That wasn't the hole. And he rolled outside for a gain of 13.
Well, once again, the containment was lost. He's able to bounce it. Seems like Martin's a little shaken up on the play.
Hopefully it's only, and we'll see. But at first it looked like a cramp.
You see Martin center your screen right there, trying to swipe at it, and sometimes you can pop that AC joint a little bit up in your shoulder. I'm no doctor, but I was pre-med at Georgia, Joel, so got that going for me.
I'm glad you didn't stay, but I stayed at a Holiday Inn Express last night. So congratulations, all and the young men on that squad and their parents. You know, you live through your kids. So what an experience. Unforgettable. That'll last a lifetime.
For River Ridge, no question. That's a big deal. That Little League World Series. You see a lot of the highlights on ESPN.
Oh, it's great.
It's good stuff.
Great baseball. So the National Little League World Series champions, they come from New Orleans, River Ridge. On first down, nothing doing for McGuire. Tried to turn the corner. You know, in the first game, and it's been good to see the Saints have adjusted as well. Misdirection burned the Saints with Minnesota. And misdirection has not been a big deal for them over the last couple of weeks.
No, and then they picked it up, and rightfully so. There was, if you're looking for one area of weakness from week one, they weren't good. Anytime it was a boot or those kind of things. And, you know, Trey Hendrickson's out on the field. I want to see him continue on that performance he had last week.
It's McGuire on the delay, and it worked for about 7, almost 8. Caden Ellis in on the stop with Chris Banjo. So Elijah McGuire saw him run for the Raging Cajuns of Louisiana. And they don't want to be called Lafayette. So we'll say, okay, just outside of Bow Bridge.
There's a descriptor for you. Just outside of Bow Bridge.
Crawfish capital of the world, as it says.
Delicious.
It is good. Third down and about 3. Simeon with too much time. Man, good tackle. Sure-handed tackle. Ken Crawley in on the stop before he can make an adjustment potentially. Now Deontay Thompson. So Ken Crawley trying to crawl or claw his way onto the roster once again. It's a guy that's had 23 starts over the last 3 seasons, so a lot of experience.
Yes, and it's a crowded room, and you got a lot of secondary players, safeties, cornerbacks. I'm not sure of the distinction between the two at times, with Gardner Johnson and Patrick Robinson, P.J. Williams bouncing between a slot defender and safety type position. So that's going to be a battle that would include Ken Crawley in it. And how about that?
Impressive. That's 56 yards for a guy that missed 2 extra points last week.
He likes the distance.
He recovered nicely. So he just hit a 48-yarder. Now he's got a 56-yarder for Adam Gase and the New York Jets. And the Jets have the only points of the second half on those 2 field goals. We're tied at 13. everything you need. Download it right now. Everything Saints all the time, and it's the Final Play app. So just download it. You'll get news, you'll get videos. Deuce is on there as well, Deuce McAllister. He'll give you analysis. Keep up with the Saints. It's the Final Play app. Download it right now. Bertolet kicks it away. Deontay Harris wants to bring it out. He's 5 yards into the end zone, and he will bring it out. And he's got a lane over to the right side. The ball's out, though. Harris after it, scoops it up himself. Resourceful as he gets it back. He lost it a little bit across the 20. And how about he gets it back and he recovers it at the 9. The force is by Albert McClellan.
Well, once you get into that traffic, you got to secure the ball, but that's Deontay Harris able to jump back up and recover the ball. Luckily,
good
because
bounce.
Boy, you don't want to go to the sidelines with Sean Payton, the first face you see coming off with a turnover on a kickoff return.
No, and he's been impressive, and it's unfortunate Marcus Sherrills has not been available. He's not been healthy. But Deontay Harris has capitalized and made the most of the opportunity. Zigbo on the carry. So it's Taysom Hill here in the second half. We saw Drew Brees one series, and it was enough. It was that good. Found Michael Thomas for the only touchdown of the game for the Saints. And then Teddy Bridgewater, after kind of a slow start, all of a sudden he picked it up and he moved well in the pocket.
I thought so, especially towards the end, that 2-minute drill situation. He was under more duress, didn't have the same pocket that Drew had that first series, but you know, Drew is one of the best in the league to ever play the game. That's a high bar to compare things to.
Now Taysom Hill making a miss. Good throw. He's got Dan Arnold for the first down. Boy, the way he is resourceful in the pocket and extends the play.
Yes, this is the piece of Taysom Hill's game that I think at times is underrated. Watch his eyes stay downfield the entire time. He's able to extend because he's a phenomenal athlete, but then to find his receiver 35 yards down the field, I think that's the advancement that you see from Taysom Hill. From the first couple reps, he didn't get primary receiver and he's running, but now he's able to progress and keep his eyes downfield.
Little flanker's screen. No kick out that time for Deontay Harris. Maybe a yard at the most. It'll be 2nd and 9, but that's a big play. First of all, you're not deep in your own territory. You get some breathing room, and you're looking at, if you don't complete that pass, 3rd and 9 from your own 9-10 yard line.
Yes, progression by Taysom Hill, and understanding the situation. Could he have run for a few yards? Absolutely he could. He's a great athlete, but I think it's the development from the pocket, well, not even the pocket, but being able to find those receivers when you extend those plays.
Zigbo bottled up. Ooh, almost got him by the cage, by the face mask. Harvey Lange, second-year man out of BYU, wrapped him, but boy, he drove, didn't he?
Well, he didn't stop. I mean, he hits the pile. There was no hole, but doesn't give up. Nobody's wrapped him up. It's the second effort that's distinguishing Zigbo right now.
Zigbo comes over to the sideline. Rodgers in. And it's going to be a 3rd and 6 from the 39. Saints so far tonight, 6 of 13 on the 3rd down tries. Here comes the extra rush. Down the middle. Dan Arnold holds on. Flag on the play. He's got a first down to the 35, and he knew he was going to take a shot. Backpedaling.
He threw a strike to Dan Arnold on the go route.
What is the flag about?
Prior to the pass, holding, defense, number 43. Penalties decline. First down.
25 yards on the reception. You like the fastball, didn't you?
Well, let's see how Dan Arnold creates that space. I see what they did there.
The block.
Oh, block. It was a little bit of a crossing route.
Yes, sure.
Went very early.
1st and 10 from the 35. Play action fake out on the edge. He'll beat him. 35 to the 30 and a first down, getting out of bounds. And that's what he has to learn, because you know he wants extra yardage and he doesn't mind contact, but the point is, get out of bounds for the next play.
Yes, and boy, what a disadvantage it would be to be a defensive end edge player, as Burgess just figured out that Taysom Hill, most quarterbacks, you've got containment, and he just accelerated right past him. Made it look like he was standing still, and smart play by Taysom of getting the first down, getting out of bounds, and you're on to the next play.
First down to the 24. Alize Mack, the rookie out of Notre Dame, the 7th round pick, in for the first time tonight. Taysom taking his time. He's got Deontay Harris, who's being held. Overshoots him as he was working up against Alex Brown.
Prior to the pass, legal contact, defense, number 25. 5-yard penalty, first down.
That's Deontay Harris right here. Let's see it on a little stutter and go. Makes an inside move. That's some light contact.
Not much. Let me ask you this on Taysom Hill. Where do you put his speed? Is it wide receiver speed?
Yeah, I don't know. On field speed, the guy's got wheels. You know what I mean? He's able to run past defenders, especially linebackers. There's a difference. Some guys are straight line speed, and Taysom Hill's a guy that he's got some go to him. Well, it looks like a possible helmet to helmet, but
yep. Dwayne Washington to the end of the play, and he's coming over to the sideline groggy. You could tell. He stumbled over to the sideline.
Well, again, that's Bryant. You saw the shot that the safety took for the Jets. That's helmet to helmet, no doubt.
Man.
Personal foul. Unnecessary use of the helmet on the defense, number 38. Half the distance to the goal. First down.
I think he might be groggy as well. That's a dangerous play. That's his second dangerous play.
Right.
Earlier it was the Emmanuel Bryant play. Yeah.
And when you lower your helmet like that, what do you expect?
A headache.
Man. Ooh. Hurts to watch, Stinch.
It does. And that's the type plays they've tried to remove from this league. They're dangerous for not only the ball carrier, but also the one who's lowering the helmet for the hit.
Zigbo in motion. Empty backfield for Taysom Hill as they spread him out. Underneath. Incomplete. And he had Arnold on the fastball, but a little bit wide of the intended target. Or was it Mack? No, it was Alize Mack.
I think that's Alize.
86, not 85.
Well,
and he did have him, didn't he?
He did. I mean, he sits right down, and the space that's created, the little zone right there, and Taysom throws the fastball just a bit outside. He tried the corner and missed, Joel.
Yeah, and it was put in the breadbasket. Maybe even take something off it. It'll be 2nd and goal at the 6. Zigbo makes a miss in the backfield, loses his footing though, and with the flag down to the play, is it going to be a holding call? Zigbo's down to the 4.
Holding, offense, number 66, 10-yard penalty, 2nd down.
Ryan Groy.
How about that cut by Ozigbo? Unblocked defender in the backfield. Makes him miss. That's sometimes when a 1-yard play that's an impressive run. That's nice by Ozigbo. As soon as he gets the ball, and he's hit in the backfield and is able to bounce right off and try to create more space.
Yeah, the Pistons are moving, aren't they? It's tough to bring him down.
Yes, sir.
Now it's going to be 2nd and goal. Delay, Ozigbo. He's still battling inside the 10. Lost the football, but was already down at about the 8. And he took a shot at the end of the play.
He's got good balance, doesn't he?
Yeah, that's the key to Kamara's game. As we've talked about that, the escapability, but more than anything else, Alvin Kamara's balance is amazing.
He got some balance. Yeah, that's right.
So Zigbo, he was already down, as you can see at the end of the play, but here it comes, 3rd and goal at about the 8.
Empty him out.
Mack just to the left. You're looking at the tight end once again. Feet on Hill. He eludes the pressure. Now he'll run it in. Touchdown Saints. Flag on the play though. And let's see if there's a hold once again by the offensive line.
Holding, offense, number 60. 10-yard penalty. 3rd down.
Bring it back. Call it on Omama.
Called it on who?
Patrick Omama.
Don't you talk about her.
Thank you.
Sweet woman. How about Taysom Hill?
His
How
capability.
exciting. That's holding, huh? Wow.
Boy, they like the flags tonight.
I don't know about that one, boys. Taysom Hill's exciting. Get him out of the pocket. And what a run.
Too many penalties overall, but some of them have been interesting, haven't they?
Yes, and some I think are undeniable. That one, I don't think falls in that category.
Rodgers in the backfield.
Get another flag.
Oh, man. False start on 3rd and goal.
False start. Offense. Number 64. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
That's Will Clapp.
Oof.
11 penalties now.
The right guard. Wow, it seems almost in step with the snap, but tonight that is a penalty.
It did seem almost in sync, didn't it? 6 penalties on this drive between the two teams. Hill into the flat, making a miss, and a spin as Butler goes down. Sets it up for a field goal try.
Good news is no penalty on the play, but not much you have in the playbook for the old 3rd and goal from the 26-yard line where it was.
Remember, it started back. This drive started at the Saints' 9-yard line. So there was a lot of pluses that we saw from Taysom Hill, whether it was hitting Butler or a couple of the other receivers, Dan Arnold included. It'll be a 38-yard attempt out of the hold of Thomas Morstead, trying to give the Saints the lead. Will Lutz, he's got it. So the 38-yarder from Will Lutz at a 3-point lead at 16-13 for the Saints. Welcome back once again, Will Lutz. His 3rd field goal of the night. Saints by 3. Hate to see these plays ever. And that is Dwayne Washington. He headed over to the sideline. Get an update on that in just a moment. And the man who made the hit also headed over to the sideline. Bryant, he's been whistled a couple of times now for plays just like that. The kick. And it'll stay in the end zone. For the latest on Dwayne Washington, let's check in once again with Megan Payton. Megan?
So I was just informed that running back Dwayne Washington has unfortunately suffered a concussion, and we will not be seeing any more of him for the rest of the game.
All right, Megan, thank you. Unfortunate. He's looked really good this preseason, too. And one carry he had, and it was on an early drive, he carried the ball like it was a barcode. He had both hands wrapped around it. Yeah, driving the other way.
Yes.
You saw it like I did, and that's a pro.
And same thing with the catch out of the backfield where he got leveled by, I believe it was the safety Jamal Adams, and he held on to it and popped right back up. So you just hate to see it when it's somebody who's not playing within the rules. Well, there's more flags.
You got it. Wide receiver out there, number 10, I believe, is going to be called for it. And on that play, that was Brown. Or Deontay Thompson, rather.
Holding.
It's working.
Offense. Number 10. 10-yard penalty.
Yeah, that's a bit of a hold. Patrick Robinson couldn't get away. He's got DNA from that young man.
So there's calls like that super easy to make, right? I mean, there's been a lot of penalties, and there's plenty that look just like that. That you hold a guy's pads when he's outside your framework. They should call that. Now, with 20-something penalties in a game, it's been a lot of work for these refs.
We've got a new quarterback, Luke Falk, out of Washington State at 6'4", 215. 6th round pick of Tennessee. Backpedaling and waiting, and it paid off. Reception taken in by Trenton Cannon. And Falk's an interesting story. This is a guy who walked on in Pullman. Set a school record throwing for over 14,000 yards. It was 3 times all Pac-12.
Wow.
Good story. In the Palouse. You ever been to Pullman?
I have not.
It looks like a scene out of Dr. Zhivago. Seriously, grain fields. You drive from Spokane for about 90 minutes, and it's beautiful country.
Gotta go.
Nothing out there, though. Underneath, little dart. Man, it's taken in by Burnett. Deontay Burnett on the catch. Receiver out of USC. Brought down by C.J. Gardner-Johnson.
who's playing more of a nickel role right now.
Yeah, they're going to find out. He could be that nickel guy. He's drafted as a safety.
Well, you got Gray and Banjo in as the true safety positions, and Patrick Robinson, who's been a nickel for the Saints last year before his injury. This is Gardner Johnson's opportunity as a nickel defender inside the slot.
Floats it out in the flat. Good pass. Good breaks. That's Cannon, and he's got a first down. So tough to stop, and then a late hit as well to the end of the play. See if they give it to Sylvester Williams. Man, oh man. Be the 21st penalty of the game.
Legal block in the back. Offense, number 64. 10-yard penalty. Second down.
That's on John Toth out of Kentucky.
I trained John Toth. Well, that was not a move that I taught him, Joel. The two hands in the back. Middle of the back. He's a great guy, though. Great guy, pushing him right in the back.
Just a nudge. Play was already over. That's the tough part for the coaching staff. Play is already done. And you pick up a penalty like that. That's frustration. So now it's going to be second and short. Elijah McGuire in the backfield. Need two?
Not going to get it.
No, maybe a yard for McGuire. Colton Jumper in there, who had that pick last week and has done a solid job on special teams as well. So that is going to be our final snap of the third. And if you like yellow, the third quarter was yours, because we saw so many penalties it was hard to believe. So through 45 minutes of play, thanks to Will Lutz and the first drive of the game, Drew Brees, and he was really impressive. The Saints are up by 3. Fourth quarter headlines and news around the NFL. Well, a sprained foot. Is Cam Newton going to be available opening day, which is not far away? The head games. What about that helmet? Antonio Brown. Man, oh man. And is Zeke ever going to get there with 2 years left on his contract? Ezekiel Elliott. And then unfortunately, social media is reporting that Andrew Luck is retiring.
That is unfortunate.
You said it. And what a gentleman. What a great young man. That's a shame if that's accurate. Now, Falk buying some time. Can he get to the sideline? No. But he avoids serious contact. Porter Gustin over there. Luke Falk, 6'4", 215. Long and lanky. Self-preservation.
Great job by that defense. 2nd and 2, ends up with a punt. But golly, so sad to hear Andrew Luck. Talent on the field. Every report and every person who knows him says that he's an even better person. And to see a career cut short because of multiple injuries is just bad news.
Awful. Matt Darr, his first punt of the game is a low wobbler. Flag on the play. Harris will stay away from it, and it takes a friendly roll for the Jets. And down to about the 11. So the Saints get it back up by 3. The South, is there a better division for quarterbacks? Another flag. It's amazing how deep the South is. We'll get into that in just a moment after our 8,000th penalty. Man, do you know this ballpark holds 82,500?
This is
it's unreal.
It is a massive stadium.
And I said to you, that rivals a lot of college stadiums.
That's the feel you get while you're here. Yeah, I mean, having been around the league for NFL teams, this is a monster stadium.
During the kick, personal foul, unnecessary roughness on the receiving team, number 39, blocking a player out of bounds. Half the distance to the goal. First down.
And I mentioned to you, as Webster picks up the infraction, it's amazing. We know the Saints have a Hall of Famer. Matt Ryan and the Falcons. We'll see if they're healthy this year. A lot of people are are behind the Falcons for the division. We don't agree. Cam Newton, he just got hurt. And what about Jameis Winston, who got rocked a few times in the last game?
And arguably number 4 in the division, but a talent in his own right. I think it's the deepest position group of the NFC South, and you compare it to the NFL, it's quite the impressive combination of players.
Taysom Hill making a miss in the end zone. Try to chase him. Burgess again frustrated by it. Polite over there with more on Drew Brees. Let's check in once again with Megan Payton. Megan.
I talked to Drew Brees before the game, and the one word he used to describe the season is excitement. He said that you are always trying to reestablish your identity as a team, but overall it has been a competitive training camp. And according to Brees, that is when they've had their best seasons.
It's healthy is what it is. You know that, Stinch. And by the way, I agree with him on his choice. I go with the original, and I live on David & Sons. Thank you. I do. I love it.
Make good seeds.
You got it.
Well,
I buy the large jumbo packages myself. Now, another penalty? Yes.
Encroachment. Defense, number 94. 5-yard penalty. Second down.
Parukasi picks up the penalty.
Tell you what, I'm encouraged by that word. I know you just pick one word for the year, but you look at how the Saints have ended the last 2 seasons, and devastation, frustration,
right.
Those are some of the words that you think of. It's hard to keep the excitement, the energy at a high level, despite the fact that you have a talented team. But when you end those 2 seasons the way you do, you start to get frustrated, and I'm glad that excitement is the word he chose.
Jacquizz Rodgers belted in the backfield. It'll bring up a 3rd down, about a yard loss on it. Back at the 13. Internal competition is really strong. It tells you about the depth of your team. And it's encouraging to hear Drew Brees say how good it is right now with this group.
Well, I'm telling you, it's more of attitude, energy. There's really not a lot of separation when you talk about top teams. And you're going to come down to those last-minute, fourth-quarter games where you're going to have to find it in your heart and your will to come through. And when you nice pass there by Taysom Hill.
Simi Cobb's first touch of the night.
Simi Cobbs is a guy who continues to show up each week.
They're growing them big now. 6'3", 220. All these guys are 6'3", 6'4".
Bet Deontay's going, thanks a lot, guys. He's making him look even smaller in that room, but lots of big targets. And Simi Cobb's a guy that I like personally. Just his game, he continues to make plays when given the opportunity.
Played at basketball school, Indiana. But he does look really good. And he's helped his chances every time they've targeted him. He's made the grab. It'll be now 2nd and 9 after the gain of about a yard. That's it. Went in on the stop. So the Saints by 3. Clock moving, 3.5 minutes gone. And frustrating for both coaches with so many stoppages because of penalties. Trying to find a rhythm and a little pace. Rodgers here in the backfield with Taysom Hill. Stepping up and recognizing the pressure. Now can he maneuvers to the 1st down. There's a flag because that was another guy that lowered a helmet. Now let's see if there's a flag for something else. Taysom Hill avoided another tough shot.
Holding. Offense. Number 62. 10-yard penalty. 2nd down.
They call it on Cameron Tom. Taysom Hill avoids a helmet. Right there.
Well, that's, geez. It's just been so many flags this game, penalty after penalty. It's frustrating because yet another creation by Taysom Hill and his ability negated by a penalty.
Man who made the stop is down on the field. 24 penalties between the 2 teams with a timeout now. Other scores around the NFL during this preseason, all brought to you by Keesler Federal Credit Union. We're in your neighborhood, and that's a good thing. Well, Dallas had it going against their Texas rivals, didn't they?
Yeah, that's That's a rough one to take on the chin, even if it is preseason.
You're right. As Jerry Jones said, Ziku.
He's got jokes.
Taysom Hill on 2nd and long underneath Dan Arnold as his legs taken out. He's dropped by Perry Nickerson out of Tulane. Young man out of West Jefferson High School back home. So nice job there by Nickerson out on the edge.
Here's another nice ball from Taysom. Dan Arnold knows what to do with it, turns it upfield. I think he's had a solid game today too.
Yeah, now this is manageable. The one thing about Hill is, and we brought up, there's no comparison. Nobody escapes like Kamara. Nobody's got the balance of Alvin Kamara. But for a guy his size, it's hard to believe how he escapes. Middle of the field's available. Rodgers spinning into a stop and a roadblock at the 27. You know, Alvin Kamara, we saw this footage earlier in the week. Alvin Kamara and his balance. Don't try this. This is what he is doing. And then especially when he gets up.
Tell you what, for the viewers at home, obviously this is very impressive. You see the balance, but what they don't know is that this is how Joel commentates
all the time
from a Bosu ball.
I'm working on my core all the time with my sunflower seeds like Drew Brees in a cup.
That is incredible.
Tim White back deep waiting for the Morstead punt, and he launches it. Thomas really got into this one. From the 15, slowed down momentarily and dropped it about the 24 near the 25. A.J. Derby making the stop. He is one of the best in the NFL, and fortunately, he is a Saint. Tonight's Saints game is brought to you in part by Rouse's, official supermarket of the New Orleans Saints. By Raising Cane's, official chicken of your New Orleans Saints, feeding your game day party for over 20 years. And by Ochsner Health System, innovating healthcare. Welcome back on a 70-degree night in East Rutherford, New Jersey. Man, did we buy a break. A couple of days ago it was in the 90s in Manhattan. Now, new quarterback. A couple of pumps, brings it down, and hits his target. The new quarterback, as he goes to Daniel Brown, the tight end, is Davis Webb, a former third-round pick in 2017. But the Giants, and kind of surprised when you pick somebody in the third round to cut loose that quickly as the Giants did.
Well, especially with a quarterback, you're trying to develop them. You know, when you draft them in that third day, you've got to spend some time developing that, and it just didn't seem to pan out. And now he's bounced onto the Jets.
Trying to make the squad. He's the fourth quarterback of the night for the Jets. Trying the left side, and a successful one. Ziggy Hood bringing down the running back. Cannon with a flag down in the play. It should be enough for the first down if the play stands, but no. It's going to be against the Jets. Be the 25th penalty of the night.
Holding. Offense. Number 6. 10-yard penalty. Second down.
It's on Tim White, the wide receiver out of Arizona State. We got it a couple of games last year with the Baltimore Ravens. Now the Saints have dominated the game holding on to the football. Time of possession, clearly, before the snap of this drive started, it was basically 32-19 Saints. Total yards Saints, 346 to 256. Saints have 3 field goals, 1 touchdown, and that first score came from Drew Brees and Mike Thomas. If you joined us a little bit late, 19-yard strike. And an incompletion. JT Gray, good coverage on Cannon down the sideline.
Good coverage and no flags.
That is the key. No flags. 8:21 to play in the fourth. I've done preseason games internationally that have not only gone overtime but gone all the way to the end of overtime with a field goal winning it in the final minute. And not as many flags. From the 25, it'll be 3rd and 10. Webb underneath, again White on the reception, but well short of where they needed to go, so 3 and out. Had a stop for the Saints to get it back. And the guy that really wants it back is Taysom Hill.
Yes.
He thrives on this.
And the Saints brought the same pressure earlier that got home with Marcus Davenport wrapping around into that A gap, and good job by this defense to get off the field. It's a, across the league, third down efficiency, both offensively and defensively, is one of those stats that stands out. And you circle and highlight.
Last punt by Dar was a low line drive. Deontay Harris on the high one. Sprints up the middle, breaks the tackle. Got to get past the punter. Dar at the 40, 30. I think he'll win the foot race. He will. Touchdown Saints. Deontay Harris, 79 yards.
I don't know if you remember the last play Deontay Harris had in special teams, but he fumbled it and recovered it, and he was pretty upset about it. I think he just made up for it with that punt return for a touchdown. How about this guy?
And there wasn't a lot of space initially, but his burst over the first 5 to 10 yards.
God, you're exactly right. Right through traffic. You see it? He gives a little shimmy. There's green all around him. Breaks a couple tackles. Then he's got to outrun the kicker. Can he do it? You got nothing on me, Deontay Harris. Look, I mean, there was a lot of green right there. Takes on some contact. Boy, you have to like what you see as a returner from Deontay Harris.
In for the point after, Will Lutz. Second touchdown of the game for the Saints. It belongs to the special teams. Good to see. And the extra point is perfect. Breathing room. As I brought up overtime earlier, I'm glad I brought it up. 7:27 to play in regulation. Saints by 10. That Saints touchdown by Deontay Harris, sponsored by Oshner Health System, innovating healthcare. Stinch, first 10, 15 yards in congestion, in traffic.
Just the burst, the vision that he sees, a small crease, and is able to take it the distance. Got to be excited about him as a returner. And he was looking for some redemption. He had the fumble that he was able to recover, but wow, that burst on that punt return is something special.
And he's out of a Division II school. It's a really good story out of Assumption College. And don't forget the place kicker for LSU, who came through in the clutch for the Tigers, was out of LSU. And did they get him around the face mask after the stop? So that's that. And also Deontay Harris, 9-yard average coming into the game on his punt returns. Last year, the Saints had a 6-yard average on punt returns.
He just boosted that.
You got it. And he's also been impressive on kick returns.
Got to sort through these flags.
During the return, personal foul, illegal double team block on the receiving team, number 85. Half the distance to the goal. First down.
I think they're starting to make things up for us now.
Take a look at that list. I mean, you talk about guys that are all from small schools, proven guys. Teron Armstead, David Onyemata, Dan Arnold has stood out. Deontay Harris, we've talked about this.
Right. And Caden Ellis is at a great camp. 7th round pick out of the Vandals program.
Josh Hill's been Mr. Reliable for a few years now.
Yeah, it's pretty incredible. And the opportunity was there because of somebody else's injury. And give this young man, Deontay Harris, credit for taking advantage of the situation.
Well, he doesn't have the measurables. You know what I mean? He's 5'6". That's why guys end up at Assumption, is because they're not the 5-star, 6'5" wide receiver. But when you talk about a playmaker, I mean, put the ball in his hands. He's as big as anybody when it comes to playmaking ability, and man, so impressive.
So what was Tommy Lee Lewis? 5'7", 5'8" at the most? Thank you.
Not much.
Good work. Don't forget, Mickey Loomis, Jeff Ireland, and their group is what it boils down to, Stinch. Player evaluation. Bringing in guys. Ball overthrown. Reach out and touch someone. It could have been a hold, too. As you went for the wide receiver on that side.
Well, I think you hit on it. I think just evaluation from the scouting department with the Saints, and Jeff Ireland in particular, has been an added bonus in these past few years. They've always been able to find some free agents here and there, but they're hitting on draft picks and able to pick up guys that are assets like Deontay Harris.
Well, we like they took the two safeties this past spring. in C.J. Gardner-Johnson. And also, Saquon Hampton looked great before he got nicked up.
Yes.
I mean, Aaron Glenn was saying, I see you, Hamp. Aaron Glenn he's been impressed with these young men.
Which if you can impress Aaron Glenn, you've done something. And, there's a challenge on the field, which gives us more time to talk about him, obviously, Joel. So aside from penalties, we've got yet another challenge.
New York is challenging the ruling on the previous play that there was defensive pass interference.
Yeah, Justin Hardy was on the coverage, and I said, and third-year back from cornerback from Illinois, and I said, reach out and touch someone. Did he impede the progress?
Let's see if there's possibly a shoulder pad grab towards the end of this route.
Yeah, he held him. He held him. There's no question about that.
He was just escorting him, Joel.
And was it catchable?
Well, that's a good question. But back to the draft classes, I think they've had a number of hits on their draft picks. This year in particular, you pick up two safeties. Safety, Gardner-Johnson tonight's playing almost the nickel corner more so than he's played safety. But two assets that they've added late in the draft. They've hit on some of their higher draft picks. Emmanuel Butler is one of the free agents from this draft class that looks like he's super promising, among others.
This rule, by the way, should have been implemented at halftime of the NFC Championship game last year. Saints,
don't go there, Joel.
Still stings, still burns.
Eesh.
I know. So the no flag, and let's see, because you also have to have a reasonable chance to catch the football. And he was turning in, and the ball was sailing over his head on the sideline.
Right, and I think you're looking at the success rate of these challenges, and I'm sure we'll have better stats down the road.
After review, the ruling of no defensive pass interference will stand. New York will be charged with a timeout, and they are out of challenges for the rest of the game.
I'd like to see, whether it's the challenges for the plays where there's not a flag thrown versus the plays where a flag is thrown and they're contesting that call, to see what those success rates are. But really, this is a new rule, and there's going to be a lot of development and sorting these things out as we go.
So Webb stays in at quarterback. It is 3rd and a yard, and they won't get it. Saints get the stop, and back-to-back 3 and outs for these guys that are trying to make the team.
And a couple series ago, they had 2nd and 2 and still had to punt. I think that speaks to the depth that they have for these defensive tackles at the defensive tackle position. That's where these short yardage plays are coming down to, and you got the big fella in the middle right there, Shy Tuttle, making another stop.
Yeah, I like that play by Tuttle. Well, the rookie out of Tennessee, Ziggy Hood, was in there too. Sankey actually was in there on that play. And now it's going to be Cyril Grayson Jr. trying to make a miss, and he got tripped up. That was interesting, that stop. I don't know if he used his hand or his foot on the tackle.
Well, Grayson has the speed if he can ever get to that space.
Everything you want regarding the Saints, it's there. All you have to do is download the Final Play app. You'll get all the news, the video highlights. Deuce McAllister, he's going to break it down for you as well. So go right now. Download the app. It's the Final Play app. Download it. You'll have everything we have up in the booth with us for the Saints. It'll be 1st and 10 for the Saints at the 30. Running back is Kerwin Williams now. His first carry of the game. And now you just want to chew up the clock. That's going to be the key. So Williams takes it over to the left side. Inside of 6 to play, and also get out of here healthy. There was the concussion we saw earlier, unfortunately, for Dwayne Washington. Was not available to come back. But knock on wood, so far so good for the most part.
Yeah, but you look around the league and you're seeing teams starting to hold out their starters out of fear. You saw the game played up in Canada where a number of the starters were held from that contest just because of the field conditions, and that's a major concern. You invest so much in these players that you don't want to lose some of your major assets before you even get that opportunity for week 1. So it's always the balance game. Coach Payton hit on it earlier. The value of getting your chemistry and having that field reps versus the risk of injury and losing a guy due to something that could be avoidable if he wasn't in the contest.
And we don't blame Sean Payton and the staff. As much as we want to see Drew Brees, Mike Thomas, Alvin Kamara, we don't blame them at all. They played a series. They were phenomenal. And that was the end of the night. And they're in rhythm. Those guys have it together to begin with.
I think he saw exactly what he needed to for him to pull Drew and Kamara and Michael Thomas from the game. They were in rhythm. They were able to march the ball down the field, and you end with 7 points, and you're able to leave healthy. That's a win across the board.
If you wondered, Jared Cook did not play tonight. The big tight end, the free agent acquisition in the offseason. So Dan Arnold has capitalized. A couple of guys have capitalized in the absence of Jared Cook as Thomas Morstead takes the low snap. It'll be Valentine Holmes from about the 10 with what a shock. Another flag down. Hat is off as well. Somebody out of bounds, back inbounds.
He's signaling holding on the Jets.
Well, you know, earlier we congratulated the new National Little League World Series champions, and they're New Orleanians, basically from River Ridge.
It's been a while, so.
Back, good! Back, way back! Yikes! Hello! Back!
Whoa!
Back, good!
Strong second place finish right there. The winning bat.
You've seen the fundraiser, the charity event that they've done out at the old Zephyr Stadium. What is it? Baby King Cakes? What is their mascot?
The Baby
now?
Cakes.
Baby Cakes. There we go.
Come on now.
At that stadium, he doesn't mind knocking a baseball out into the stands.
Darnell Sankey. Sankey
Sankey's
showed up
making
last
plays.
week too.
Yes, sir.
He showed up last week. So as we break down the quarterback situation, Taysom came in, made some plays. Teddy was under heat a lot. There was a lot of fire.
And that reflects in his stats, but great first series by Drew. It's what you've come to expect, just like we come to expect flags on plays, just like this one, as yet another yellow flag resting on the field.
I don't know if they realize you have a train to catch, don't you?
Holding. Offense, number 65. Foul happened in the end zone. By rule, it's a safety.
Hey, more points.
I wonder how that impacts things in the city of lost wages.
Ooh.
You know what I mean?
That is unreal. Let's see the hold. Left tackle kind of gets slapped in the face a little bit. We're right here, 65. Okay. Yep. The refs are scoring points in this game, Joel. That's impressive.
Well, we're up to 38 the total now. 25-13 Saints. Saints just a slight favorite coming in. There's a lot of time left. It's amazing. So punt coming up. Saints will get the ball back. This is fitting though, isn't it? In a game that's well past 3 hours now.
Time served. Well, the refs get a tip of the hat. They did not go unnoticed this game, Joel.
I'm only, you know what? We got a break though. If there's one city, it's the city, as Sinatra said, that never sleeps.
70 degrees, no humidity. It's a perfect night.
We got lucky. We truly got lucky.
I'll take it.
Dar will punt it away. It's going to be, is it Cyril Grayson back? Yes. Yes, he's going to get the other opportunity now. This could be interesting. So Cyril Grayson Jr. on the run from the 33. And he's trying to come out of the pile. Almost broke it. He's put down at about the 42-43 by Peak.
That's a wobbler from Dar. You want a knuckleball? Take this one.
Finally caught it. Yep. Looking for space. Tell you what, he's pretty close to getting out of there. I think he got that left foot kind of caught up, but.
And if he came in a little bit late, we've already had a 78-yard punt return for a score by Deontay Harris. +10. I mentioned the Saints have really kind of controlled things from the beginning.
I'd like to know how much time of possession the refs have had in front of the camera tonight.
A lot. Deep ball.
How about that ball?
Grayson Jr.'s got it inside the 10. It's a 1st and goal for the Saints. Taysom Hill hit him.
Taysom Hill finds the track star going for the 100-meter dash down the sideline. Puts the ball right in place. You got the safety coming over the top. Great connection between Taysom Hill and Cyril Grayson.
Isn't that frustrating, though? Here you are. You're an elite athlete. You're a defensive back in the NFL trying to make a team. Guy goes by you like you're walking. 1st and goal. Boy, this is interesting. Final 3+. Off balance. That's Kerwin Williams.
How about Kerwin Williams getting behind his pads and stumbling, bumbling inside the 5-yard line?
This is incredible.
In the handoff, looked like, why are they fixing something? It almost looked like Taysom might have pulled it, and Kerwin's got it in his back pocket.
Yeah. RPOs are Taysom's favorite, aren't they? Run pass options.
I think it should be.
It'll be inside the 5. 2nd and goal, although we need a conference from the officials because we haven't had enough.
The clock keeper has decided that the game is over.
You know what? I've got an egg timer up here. I'll lend them. All right, keep it on the field.
We have on the field as well.
Yeah, we'll trust you. Just keep it on the field.
Did he say running clock?
That should have happened a half hour ago. Now, not for the young men who are trying to make these teams, though.
No,
let's not forget that. So it's going to be 2nd and goal. In for the Saints, Shane Smith at the fullback spot. In front of Jacquez Rogers. And is it going to be a timeout or check that? Also in the backfield. Giving more guys opportunities. It is Kerwin Williams who stayed in there. Now, don't forget the Saints. They'll go from 90 to 53 after the last game is Thursday the 29th. And by the weekend, it's down to 53. Then you can bring them back for the practice squad. But it all starts at home with the Texans, who just got walloped by Dallas this weekend.
They did. And you look at that schedule. You start off at home against Houston. You follow that up on the road against the Rams. Boy, I think there might be a Saints fan or two watching that game. What do you think?
Well, and they're staying out on the West Coast. I like that adjustment.
Coming back to Seattle?
Yeah, they're going to stay out on the West Coast for the next game. They give for Williams. He's shut down right at the original line of scrimmage. It's going to be 3rd and goal. Will that take us to the 2-minute warning? No flag on the play, which is rare.
And it may or may not take us to the 2-minute warning. Just depends. Don't know how much time is left on the clock. What you got on your egg timer, Joel?
It's not functioning either. We have reached, unofficially, the 2-minute warning. Saints looking for more on their way to their 2nd preseason win. Three wide receivers set. And on a single into the corner, jump ball, Mike Thomas. Should be. Is it? Yes. Touchdown, Saints.
No question there. That's a catch and a touchdown from the combination that the Saints fans love.
Sounds of the game brought to you by Raising Cane's official chicken of your New Orleans Saints. Feeding your game day party for over 20 years now. So Mike Thomas, Michael had the grab. Camaro is in that series. And now Jacquez Rogers and Taysom Hill just throws it away. We need a whistle, guys.
Blow the whistle.
Thank you. Delay game on the officials.
Blake Cashman, the rookie 5th-round pick out of Minnesota, had the heat on Taysom Hill.
I think they might be considering intentional grounding.
Are they going to call it intent? He wasn't outside of the tackle box. We know that.
My guess is they're going to drop a flag just in case.
Well, we haven't had enough. We've had 28 penalties tonight.
Well, he's got to get outside the tackle box, which he doesn't, and it doesn't look like anybody's home.
Intentional grounding on the offense, number 7. Ball be placed at the spot of the foul. 4th down. By rule, we will run 10 seconds off the game clock, and New Orleans has elected not to use a timeout.
Thank you.
You can't be happy about all the penalties.
No.
It has been a nasty game for both sides when it comes to penalties.
They've been out penalized, though. Jets have 15, the Saints have 13. And this is going to be the 29th as they mark it off. Loss of down. And it's going to be a field goal try coming up for Will Lutz, who's already got 3 tonight. He's 3 of 4. 39-yarder, along with a 40-yard field goal. 38-yarder. The miss towards the end of the half came from 43 yards, but as we saw, laces right into the kicker. And that's tough. .116 left. So the game clock is not working. The officials are keeping it on the field. The only question is, can they produce more runoffs? So here's the field goal try out of the hold of Thomas Morstead. It'll be a 34-yard attempt. Make it a 15-point game. Another for Will Lutz. And let's give credit to all the Saints fans. This is amazing the way Saints fans travel. And then have fans all and loyal ones all over the country, because you and I walked around the ballpark before the game and we saw Saints jerseys everywhere.
Such a strong contingent of Saints fans here.
It is amazing.
And that's the norm. Everywhere we go, it seems to be that way.
And I've said to you, being around the league as long as I have, I said to you, I've never seen a relationship between a city and a team in any professional sport the way the Saints and the city of New Orleans have it. And that is really sensational. It's amazing.
I'm still looking for that Stinchcomb jersey out in the stands. Don't I have family up here somewhere?
We're going to place one next game.
That'd be the only way.
This is great. So now we'll get into it. Back deep, it's going to be Valentine Holmes. But in force, wherever we go, Stinch. And then even the workouts. When I went to Costa Mesa last week, the Chargers and Saints workouts, Saints fans.
Well, I think part of the reason why that's so impressive is that it's not a big market team. You're not talking about, a Dallas team, a California team, a New York team. In comparison, New Orleans is a small city, and to have such a national passion backing them, I think, is very impressive.
Never seen a bond between a city and a professional team.
Which was
the way that it's as good as it is,
and I think
with the Saints in the city.
Yes, I think it was cemented when Coach Payton and Drew Brees and company came post-Katrina, and there was such a unique bond that was formed out of that tragedy that's everlasting.
Good hit. Completion, but the receiver definitely paid for it. It's Greg Dortch who took it in, a guy that wasn't drafted, a rookie out of Wake. So the clock's moving. 2nd and 3. Nick Moore in the backfield with Davis Webb. Man, just off the fingertips of Daniel Brown, the tight end out of James Madison. TJ Green on the coverage. That stops it momentarily. So the Saints will get ready for the preseason finale, and hopefully you'll be able to join us if you can make it to the ballpark. But
they'll be there in force, which is a good thing. And that'll be Thursday night back home against the Dolphins. And then the tough decisions to come. This is a deep team.
It is. There's a lot of position groups where I think you've got both talented young players and savvy veterans that may not make this roster just because of the numbers.
Good move by Tim White, the wide receiver, to pick up the first down. And
Second charge.
Jets use their second timeout to stop the clock. So coming up, Juan Kincaid, Pat Swilling will join the guys here in the studio as well. And they will have all the details, analysis, and interviews from the locker room as well.
I think there's some positives to take away from this game. You start with the big three on offense. Drew, you got to see him. That's a highlight. And then the way Kamara was utilized throughout the series, a little flare pass, a little screen catch that he received, carried the ball, and then the connection between Drew and Michael Thomas seems to be right in step with what we left off from last year.
Right at a minute 10 left, Stinch. Game that's 3.5 hours old now. A lot of penalties. And one up for grabs, but out of the reach of a pick. Terrell Williams Jr. after it. Tim White was the intended target. This was earlier. Drew Brees.
Well, he looked spot on, right? He found Alvin Kamara out of the backfield, and then Michael Thomas in the corner for a touchdown. Quintessential Drew Brees. I don't know if the fans are aware, but there's yet another flag on the field. They need to know that this game we're playing it close to the vest.
Personal foul.
I think it was intentional grounding.
Roughing
the passer.
Right.
Went the other direction. I get you.
Sankey.
He did get waylaid towards the end of this play. They brought the house. Okay, all right. Landed on him. He landed on him, Joel.
Yeah, but
you can't put your weight on the quarterback.
He was releasing the football. And a sack as well for Vince Beagle, who did a great job once he joined the Saints last year.
And fired up about it. Hey, he's still playing. Now Beagle.
Yeah, they're running out of time now. Clock is being kept on the field. We could be here all night.
Maybe the clock's running. We don't know. But Beagle, linebacker, they like his pass rush ability.
He plays with his motor is really high.
It runs high.
Yep.
He's lined up to the left of your screen right over here. A little hezzy, a little sweep. Finds his way, doesn't go too high, not too low. There's only a certain window where you can use to get there. Drew's fired up. Taysom likes it.
Yeah, Beagle beat the tight end on that side. It was just, you can see the frustration in the body language. So 37 seconds remaining from our trusty crew. And another flag.
You know what we need?
Why not?
We need the record. We need the record, Joel. This was one of the Kafusi brothers.
Man, Bronson, Corbin.
Pass, holding, defense, number 69. 5-yard penalty, first down.
It's 10 years since they've been on the field together. Corbin and Bronson Kafusi. And mom and dad, and mom's the mayor of Provo, Utah. Mom and dad are here for the event.
One on
great.
each team, which was always a challenge for my parents. When I played Matt, he was with the Raiders in Tampa. They didn't know who to cheer for. It's great.
How could you cheer for the Raiders?
The Raiders.
Right. From the 40, with seconds remaining in the game. And McGuire's on his way down. Compton in on the wrap, the tackle. Clock's moving. Now, will they get another snap off? Only Scott Novak knows, the referee. It's been a long 36 seconds, guys. Right. Is this penalty time in soccer?
Oh,
And to the
Get out of bounds.
sideline.
Extend it.
Is
I love it.
That it?
Maybe.
We'll find out from the referee.
Oh, they're taking the field.
That is the end of the game.
Good start for the Saints. Very good start. That's what they wanted to see more than anything else with Drew Brees, first team offense. And then some of the second guys did a good job defensively, and especially in the front seven.
I think there were some highlights. It just got buried in so many penalties this game. I mean, you come away with a nice win. You created turnovers. I know Marshawn Lattimore on that first defensive series, the way he stripped the ball, that's exciting to me. They're trying to generate more plays for this offense, which if that first series with Drew and Kamara and Michael Thomas are any indication of what's to come, you got to be excited about it. We didn't see Latavius Murray or Jared Cook tonight, two pieces that seem to be complementing the pieces we know in this puzzle.
Well, we're going to join the guys in the studio. Juan Kincaid, Pat Swilling will take over in just a moment. I'll never forget the game, though, that we worked together tonight, because I've never done a game with 31 penalties combined.
It's memorable. I think we're setting records.
Thank you for hanging in there with us all night long back home in New Orleans and the Gulf Coast South. The play of the night, though, something we're going to see frequently this season, and that's Drew Brees and Michael Thomas. For John Stinchcomb, I'm Joel Myers. Thanks for joining us, and Megan Payton. We'll see you in just a few minutes.